Welcome inside Labatt Memorial Park, London Majors Baseball here on Majors TV.
Majors win! The Majors walk it up!
We're doing great. I feel amazing.
Hit well to left field, going back. Do you believe it? He's hit it out. Marching towards third. Here's the relay from Hernandez. Not in time.
Be updated across the CBL as much as possible. But regardless, happy to have you here with us today.
Should be another exciting one. Today we'll look at the pitching matchup for you. Victor Payano has had such a tremendous season. He leads the league in wins so far. He's looking for number 9 in this one. While Nick Veselinovic has also had a pretty good season himself. He's really been playing the top teams for this Toronto pitching staff. He's played Welland twice, Barrie twice. He's played Hamilton, Kitchener, and Brantford. Those are the 5 teams he's played against. The first time the Majors will see the big left-hander in here this season as we are about to get underway.
Victor Payano set on the mound. First pitch coming in, called strike, and we're officially underway. Running through the Maple Leafs lineup really quick. We have Marcus Connect leading off. He's the DH for today. Then Yasiel Puig in right. J.J. Dutton in center. Crix Tavares at shortstop. Dennis Day-Banning in left. Matt Brandt behind the dish at catcher. Yoki Pena at first base. Drew Howard, the second baseman, and Spencer Ross in there as well. Rounding things out for the Maple Leafs lineup. We'll talk about the majors when we shift to the bottom of the first inning. But Victor Payano already looking sharp. An 0-2 count to get this game going. Swung on. That one's fouled. Well fouled down the right side over the stands.
That was one of Payano's strikeout pitches right there. You don't really see the changeup very often from the big left-hander. However, you saw it at that moment. Connect was able to kind of extend the hands out and get to that one low and away.
So stayed alive, fouling that one off. Payano getting set. The 0-2 pitch once again. That one travels a bit outside, ball one.
Another one that Payano loves to use is that fastball up and away. We saw it a lot in his last start here for London. That was against the Hamilton Cardinals just 5 days ago. He really liked to use that fastball up and away, and then the breaking ball that you saw right there. He likes to put that one a little more up at the knees on the inside part of the zone. However, he will always switch it up every now and again, just try and get all these hitters off balance.
Payano, the big left-hander on the mound, can flash a good amount of velocity when he wants to as well. The 2-2 count. Swung on, fouled back. Good piece of hitting from Connect.
This is really starting to turn into a really good battle here to begin our ball game.
Yeah, pretty sharp matchup to get things going. Connect batting .252 on the season so far. 6 home runs, 15 RBIs in the mix as well. Crowd getting into it. The 2-2 pitch. Swung on, foul back again.
So that's now 4 straight foul balls here from Marcus Connect. He's really been good at putting the bat to the ball. Obviously, the strikeout to walk numbers are not what you'd like to see from a player. 39 strikeouts to 9 walks. However, even though it's such a wide difference, he's still able to bring these really good battles to the plate.
That one downstairs, making it a full count. Great matchup. Obviously, being in the leadoff spot, you're kind of the table setter, not just for the team, but kind of the whole game as a whole. First bit of information that you can start relaying down to the rest of the guys in the dugout. So Payano's set. The payoff pitch coming in. Inside, just a little bit in. Good battle from both sides, but Marcus Connect comes out with the early win and finds himself on first base with the walk.
Yeah, that was a great way to start the ball game if you're Toronto. That's 9 pitches already thrown by Victor Payano. Justin Van Horn, the home plate umpire and crew chief today, thought that one was just a little bit too inside, close to the chalk on that right-handed batter's box.
So that'll bring up the big bat of Yasiel Puig. First pitch to him, swung on, fouled down the first base side.
Puig is also having himself quite the year. He's batting .397 with a 1343 OPS. Leads the league in home runs with 16. He's got 42 RBIs to go along with that. Homered back in Kitchener just last night in the loss against the Panthers.
Can't deny the big pop in the bat as well. 0-1 pitch, a bit low for ball one, evening things up. A lovely day for some ball here in London, Ontario, though. Some nice blue skies. Definitely an improvement from what we saw on Wednesday's game, where it was a little bit dreary, especially to kick off the game. Majors coming out with that one, a 10-4 finish against the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. 1-1 pitch, swung on, again fouled down the first base side, making it a 1-2 count.
So Toronto early in this one has generated a lot of foul balls to be in this ball game. And again, we looked at Puig's numbers. He's now 2 ahead of Cristian Inoa for that top spot in home runs, not to mention 5th in the entire league in batting average. Just shy of that 400 mark.
Would love to contribute once again here. The 1-2 pitch swung on, driven right up Main Street. It's going to find the grass in center field for a base hit. Connect going to stop at second. So a nice, well-hit, well-positioned single off the bat of Yasiel Puig.
Yeah, this is a great start here for Toronto. You going into your last game, it was at home. You took a tough loss, a 20-4 win for the London Majors. You want to try and get revenge here on the road. This is just the way you want to start that.
So still none out, already a runner in scoring position and 2 men on for the Maple Leafs. Good way to get this game going against Payano, who's been pretty sharp this season as a whole. J.J. Dutton now in the box, the right-handed center fielder. First pitch to him. Catches the plate for called strike.
J.J. Dutton, another guy who's had a pretty good offensive year. The all-star center fielder for the Maple Leafs, a .293 average, a .760 OPS. Doesn't have the power, however, has that really good contact skill. 34 hits already on the year.
Looks like Eduardo Diolio wanted the call there. Was just double-checking really quick with the home plate umpire. And while we have a second to go over the umpiring crew for today, home plate umpire crew chief is Justin Van Horn. Over at first, it's Matthew Kinnett. Over on third base, Steve Cochran to round things out. That's your umpiring crew for this Friday night matchup. Excuse me, that's Bob Blake over at third. So the count now moves to 1-2.
There was that breaking ball that we were just talking about. Is that it comes in the same way as that high fastball. Everything comes to the same arm angle from Payano. It's just the late movement that'll get everybody to try and challenge these pitches, even if they're down at the shins like that one.
And swung on, grounded on the third base side. Yeah, you mentioned it there. I love the pitch mix from Victor Payano. Obviously, a lot of his stuff caters incredibly well to left-handed batters, but it's his ability to move the pitches around to these right-handed batters, especially those curveballs, those breaking pitches, the kind of backdoor pitches on the other side of the plate. I love when he's just able to catch the edge of the strike zone. 1-2 pitch again. Swung on, strike three called. The pickoff attempt over at first, but just a little bit high. But first out of the inning, gone via the strikeout. Might see a few of those given the pedigree of both these starters today.
Again, there's that tunneling from Victor Payano. He went back-to-back breaking balls on J.J. Dutton and then went to that high and away fastball, something he uses so well. A smart play by Eddie Diolio to try and get the back pitch on Yasiel Puig. Trent Linehan just wasn't exactly in position to make that play, unfortunately.
So Crix Tavares now in the box. Still 2 runners on, 1 in scoring position. First pitch catches the lower part of the plate for strike 1. So still a big opportunity for the Maple Leafs here. A 1 pitch. Again, catches the plate. Strike 2 called.
Crix Tavares also having himself a pretty good season. He's only played 23 games so far, has the Torrance, California native, however, a .262 average. And how about a .909 OPS for Tavares? 6 home runs, 13 RBIs, and 84 plate at-bats this season.
And strike 3 called. Back-to-back strikeouts now for Victor Payano. So a bit dicey to get the game going. A walk and a single, but back-to-back strikeouts shifted things back in his direction. Impressive.
Sorry, keep going.
I was going to say it's impressive stuff.
So impressive stuff here from Victor Payano. He gets the back-to-back strikeouts right away after the walk and the single by Puig. He's kind of locked in after those two batters. It was a very big battle from Marcus Connect, which kind of threw him off a little bit.
Someone's popped up, but it drifts its way foul.
So now Dennis Day Banning, we didn't see him the last time these Leafs were in London. He's a 276 hitter this season with an 830 OPS in his second year here with the Maple Leafs.
Payano steps off, trying to keep Marcus Connect true over at second base.
Coming into this game, Day Banning has himself a 4-game hit streak. Coming in, he's got hits in 5 of the last 6 as well.
Payano set the 0-1 pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 2.
Beautiful pitch there by Payano. I wouldn't be surprised if he tries into a breaking ball again here after that fastball.
I think I like it. I wouldn't be too shocked if he maybe tried climbing the ladder with a fastball as well. Try and maybe bait that breaking pitch. Bit too far outside for ball 1.
Good call from you on that one. That was a great pitch from Payano. He just missed by about a couple of inches. He wasn't able to get Day Banning to chase that one. However, that one is I believe, based on what we've seen from Payano so far, that one is kind of preparing that low and inside curveball.
1-2. Downstairs. It's almost like we know what we're doing up here.
We've watched too many games this season.
But you were exactly right, especially when he tries to get the swing and miss by going a bit too far, or kind of overextending a little bit the pitch. You then think, okay, that's a great opportunity to capitalize on another pitch that would start in a similar location and break in, which has a good slew of pitches that he can really pick from in that case. The 2-2. Bit outside again. Bringing it to a full count.
It's been a good at bat here from Dennis Day Banning. Kind of what we saw from the Marcus Connect that bat at the start. But again, like to both of our points, it just kind of depends on where he puts the fastball on that situation. Wherever it is, he knows he's got 3 other pitches he can go to that will look the exact same until they're about halfway to home plate. So
it's never a comfortable at-bat when you're against Victor Payano on the mound. The payoff pitch. Swung on, fouled back. Stays alive.
So just continuing to ramp up the pitches against Victor Payano here is Toronto. He's up to 23 already. Just in this inning alone, it's just been an inning full of just very long battles at the plate. This is only the 5th batter we've seen. And to have this many pitches already, it's a good sign here for the Leafs.
Great contact, real great show to start the game. 3-2. Swung on, fouled off again down the first base side, well over the stands. Anything that you can do to get through Victor Payano as well. Obviously leading the league in wins, a great ERA, a great strikeout arm as well. Anything to try and shoot through his arm, get to the bullpen as fast as you can. Obviously the Majors bullpen is pretty sharp as well, so it doesn't get too much easier, but just the presence of Victor Payano to try and get him out of this ballgame as fast as you can is kind of the mindset you have to have if you're the Maple Leafs. And Payano steps off. Again, trying to make sure Connect doesn't get too much of a lead over at second base. The infield defense playing back a little bit with the 2 outs now in the inning.
So that's the second disengagement from Payano this at bat. But again, to your point, like it's so difficult to get these Leafs out. They have a .370 team on base percentage.
And swung on and missed. Strike 3 called. So a dicey situation. A walk, a single, but 3 back-to-back strikeouts for Victor Payano. And what a way to make the most of it. pushing through the top of the first.
That's the perfect way you want to end that inning. You give up 2 base runners back-to-back to begin the inning, then nobody else will even make contact in play on it. Payano maybe not too happy about the kind of calls he got earlier in the inning. However, he was able to come back and put up a really strong finish to it. Now we have the London offense coming up, which we know what they can do, especially against this Toronto lineup. We saw it last weekend in the 20-4 victory over the Maple Leafs, and we've just seen it time in and time out with this squad. It's a .322 team batting average, a .914 team OPS. So it's very powerful, very explosive. Will be interesting to see what they do here, as Veselinovic will be here in his first at-bat. Starting lineup here for the Majors. Michael Escato will lead it off as always. He'll be at shortstop today, followed by Trent Lenahan over at first base. Cristian Inoa stays right there in his 3 spot. That's kind of been his spot since he got to this team. Eduardo Diolio, the highest spot. He's been in the lineup this season. He's up in the 4 spot. Tucker Zdunic moves down because of the left-handed pitcher. Starling Joseph will be down in the 6th spot. He's a designated hitter today. Jared Burney will be in the 7th spot. So the 7 and 8 of Burney and Lewis move up a little bit. Dreyer's usually in the 7. It will move down to the 9th spot. So 2 lefties in this lineup. Usually we only see 1 against left-handed pitchers. However, we will see the 2 today from Roop Chanderdad. It'll be interesting to see how they kind of approach this.
I think it's a great lineup, a great mix against a pretty sharp left-hander on the mound, like you mentioned. I think if you're the Majors, you sit fastball. The strikeout numbers are pretty impeccable from what we have seen from Veselinovic so far this season, but his walk numbers are pretty inflated to contrast that. So he's moving the ball around a little bit, but we know he's got a pretty good arm. If you sit fastball, just wait for it, you might be able to get one that you can just absolutely clobber. And I think that kind of has to be the mindset going. I don't know if you think otherwise, if you think that's kind of what they have to do today.
No, I completely agree, and that's what you're going to see from these big strikeout pitchers. Obviously, you'll have that big fastball. However, there will be so many chase pitches. The curveball, slider, and changeup are kind of the go-tos for Veselinovic in his repertoire, and he will go to those time in and time out in these 1-strike and 2-strike counts. So to try and lay off of those and kind of stick to the fastball in the zone is going to be really big for them. Going later into this game, that's when you'll see Veselinovic start to put those breaking balls and off-speed pitchers more in the zone. That's where you will find the mistakes, and you'll get the success from this London offense.
It'll be a big test of making the opportunities that they've got today. Obviously, Veselinovic, one of the more impressive pitchers, not just on the Maple Leafs, but across the CBL this season. First pitch into Escato, a little bit low for ball 1.
Michael Escato, we know exactly what he can do. He's gotten a hit in every game since July the 14th. That was his last hitless game in Brantford. Since then, he's got a hit in every single game, and the power numbers have really been there for him. He's back up into the top 5 in homers in the entire league. He's got a dozen with 38 RBIs to go along with it.
Next pitch downstairs, ball 2. Been impressive. He's been a mainstay as the leadoff man for the Majors pretty much all season long and really been thriving in the spot. Pretty consistent, a .382 average on the season. Looks like he was squaring a bunt there. That one called strike.
Interesting decision there from Escato to lay the bunt down. Obviously, you see all the infield is so far back. It's going to be easy for that.
So that one's grounded to the third baseman. Takes a funky hop, though. It's going to roll its way to the outfield grass. Escato almost didn't realize it. Thought it was going to be a bit more of a run down to first. But the late second check, he almost took a turn to second, but elected to stay safe and will keep it as a single. Definitely a funky hop for the third baseman. That's Ross over there. Would have been tough to come up with that cleanly with how it kind of jumped up on him.
Yeah, we've seen that a couple of times now with this infield grass here at Labatt Park. It happened last week. It happened back on Wednesday with Trent Lenahan. That was that barehanded play that he made, and it was just a funky hop. It's been happening to both corners of the infield here. That's definitely going to be a big factor in this one.
And speaking of Trent Lenahan, now in the box, the power hitting righty. Really been flexing the contact skills as of late. .402 average. 66 hits on the year so far. 1-0 pitch to him inside.
Yeah, coming into this game, he was only 5 behind Michael Estrada. Obviously 6 now because of the leadoff single. But you have the 1 and 2 guys in hits, and you also have so many guys in the top 5 in so many different categories. Your offense is just so electric so far this season, and they've just continued to do that all year long. We'll see if that plays a difference here going into September, maybe, if it happens to cool off out, maybe, but I don't exactly see that happening anytime soon.
No, I think you're exactly right. They've been sharp almost since the get-go and have been just fairly consistent from the start of the season to now in the very late parts of the season. The 2-1 pitch swung on, driven over towards right field. The right fielder, Yasiel Puig, not moving too far, making the catch. Looks like Escato thought about running for a second. Looks like a fun little interaction between the two, seeing if they were going to try a shot at second base or not.
A little bit of mind games right there between Escato and Puig right there. We saw Escato tagging up, and he went about 15 feet off first base, and they both just kind of stared at each other for a little bit. That's what Puig is kind of known for doing over there in right.
Puig's got a good arm over there. And yeah, I love that he held onto it for an extra second, almost as like a try it, see what happens kind of a move. And just like that, Escato darts for second. That one driven right up Main Street to center. The center fielder Dutton able to get to it, though, so Escato will hustle back to first. Bit of a hit-and-run strategy in play. We've seen that very often for the majors across the 2026 season as a whole. And just like that, 2 outs. Eduardo Diolio coming up to the box.
Yeah, we've seen that a lot this season. It's been more of the bottom of the order, however, who has been really putting on that hit and run. It's really Bernie, Lewis, and Dreyers who have been kind of the mainstay for those kinds of situations. But seeing Michael Escato do it, he hasn't had a stolen base in a couple of months now. So to see him get more active on the base pass is very good for this major squad.
First pitch to Diolio, swung on, fouled back. And yeah, to that point, he had a really great break for a second, I think, as well. I think if that pitch was taken, if it wasn't swung on, likely a stolen base for him. Of course, we'll never know at this point, but a good flash of the speed there from Escato. So 2 outs, bottom of the first, man on first. Eduardo Diolio swings at that one. Hit well, but just drifts foul down the third base side. So a little bit early on the turn. Great piece of contact.
Yeah, that was a good piece of hitting there from Eddie Diolio. He's really been getting hot as of late, multi-hit games in the last 3. He's up to a 372 batting average and a 915 OPS. It's not exactly you see a 900 OPS with a guy who has 3 home runs in 38 games. However, the back-to-ball skills have been there all season long for him.
0-2 pitch. Escato darting towards second. Pitch not picked up cleanly by Brandt behind the plate, so Escato will be over at second without issue.
Yeah, it's good to see Escato get active on the base pass. Mark that as stolen base number 15 on the year for him, and it's really just been impressive seeing every single number for him. That puts him 1 behind Jarrett Burney for the team lead in stolen bases.
1-2 pitch, a bit of a check swing foul for Diolio. Should be mentioned, too, that Diolio is one of the best on this team in terms of really clubbing the ball against left-handed pitching. .455 average on the season against lefties. I think the only one better on the mainstay roster is Jarrett Burney, who swings a .486. We'll see him a little bit later in this game. The 1-2 pitch to Diolio. Breaking pitch, but a bit high. So runner in scoring position. Michael Escato over at second. An opportunity for the majors to try and pull ahead early. The 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3 called. So we're through the first inning. Both teams have a hit, but really no damage done so far. A clean slate across the board. As we get ready to shift into the top of the second, we will take a quick commercial break. And you're watching the Toronto Maple Leafs taking on the London Majors right here on Majors TV.
So right off the bat, what's your least favorite food? Oh, you brought fish. Okay, I get that. What are some of your go-to foods that you love? Oh, more props. Great, wicked. Fruits and vegetables. Great pick. You know, incredibly important. I'm sure a lot of the London Majors will agree with you. I'm gonna have to have you clean that up, though. You know, I'm not here to be a janitor.
Stand out this season with the Jersey Acrylic Trophy, starting at just $15.95. Fully customizable with your team's logo, colors, and stand out this season with the Jersey Acrylic Trophy, starting at just $15.
And welcome back, Labatt Memorial Park. Top of the second inning, the Maple Leafs taking on the Majors here at the Forks of the Thames.
So we'll see the 6, 7, 8 hitters of this Leafs lineup. Matt Brandt, Yoki Pena, Drew Howard due up for the inning.
Great shot over towards left field, stays fair. Lewis having to run over to grab it. Brandt rounded first on his way to second. Gets away from Inoa, but Brandt staying over there, so a sharp hit double off the first batter of the inning, Matt Brandt.
Yeah, good double there from Brandt. He's able to put it right down the line nearly perfectly. Only his second double of the season. So it's been a struggle for him, the extra base hits. Only his 5th extra base hit on the year, however. A guy in scoring position to lead off the inning is big for this Toronto offense.
So both teams have already had runners in scoring position. Top of the first, bottom of the first, and carrying forward into the top of the second now. Yoki Pena now in the box. First pitch to him. Swung on, fouled down the left side. Going well over the heads of the fans in the stands.
So Yoki Pena, in his limited number of games, he's been struggling with injuries a little bit throughout the year. He's only played 18, 4 with Toronto.
So that one's hit well over towards right field. The right fielder Zadunik not able to get back to it. It bounces off the wall. Zadunik picks it up. Brandt rounds third on his way home, but no play at the plate, so a nice RBI double will score the first run of the ball game as Yoki Pena gets the Maple Leafs on the board.
So that's no back-to-back doubles here for Toronto. It's not been the exact start we were kind of expecting to see from Victor Payano. 3 hits given up already without an out here in the second.
Well, it looked like he was starting to find his stuff towards the end of the first. Obviously a walk, then a single to get the game going, but then 3 back-to-back strikeouts. But yeah, 2 back-to-back doubles, not exactly the results he's hoping to see, and still none out here. So Pena over at second. First pitch to Howard, swung on and missed. But a good start to the game for the Maple Leafs. Good showing on the offensive and the pitching side to get the game going. 0-1, swung on, fouled back. Again, two very different storylines between these two teams so far. The Majors still fighting for wins. Even though they're sitting in first place, they're hoping to stay in that spot in the few games left of the regular season. The Maple Leafs trying to find some positive notes, currently sitting in 8th. The 0-2 pitch catches the plate, strike 3 called. So first out of the inning, but Payano's 4th strikeout of the ball game. Looks like he's kind of mirroring a bit how the first inning went. 2 men on base to get it going, then strikeout after strikeout. Here in the top of the second, similar, 2 men on, and then a strikeout.
Yeah, again, almost it's that same. That's 4 strikeouts already for Victor Payano. He's had 4 strikeouts in 4 outs. And that's a good way to get back into your rhythm.
So still a runner in scoring position, though. 1 out. Step off from Payano. Good amount of speed from Pena over at second. Spencer Ross, the third baseman, now in the box before we shift things back to the top of the lineup once again. That one a bit outside, ball 1.
Spencer Ross, again, having a pretty good year. The all-CBL infielder back in 2024. That was with the Kitchener Panthers. He's had a pretty good season here for Toronto. A .260 average, a .632 OPS. That's good for 32 hits and 123 at-bats. Still looking for his first homer of the season.
That one swung on. Hit well, but well foul.
It's not exactly something you see a lot from these Toronto hitters, that when they're playing every day, it's almost weird to see them with no home run totals on the year. It's one of the more hitter-friendly parks is Christie Pitts.
Definitely get those comparisons between the two, that and Labatt Memorial Park, in terms of the different sizes of ball diamonds across the league.
Yeah, it's really different to see the matchup this time around. Christie Pitts, one of the smaller fields in the league, where we saw the offenses blow up in that one. We're now in one of the biggest in all of the CBL.
1-2 pitch, swung on, grounded right up the center. Escato drifting over. Double clutch is a little bit late on the throw because of it, though. So Spencer Ross safe over at first. Yoki Pena advances over to third. Looks like Escato just didn't have it too quickly on the transition. Again, looked like he had to kind of double clutch it up before making the throw. Might have thought he had a bit more time, but good speed from Ross to turn it into a single there.
Yeah, a little odd to see there from Michael Escato. Again, he just kind of hesitated to make the throw a little bit. He didn't think maybe he had the right footwork to get the throw accurately the first time round. Kind of double clutched, as you said, and now it's runners on the corners. Still only 1 away in the inning.
So back to the top, Marcus Connect in there. First pitch called strike. Wouldn't be too shocked if we started seeing some breaking pitches down in the zone, trying to induce a double play with a runner on first. Wouldn't be too shocked if Ross tries to dart over towards second at some point because of it as well. That one grounded foul down the third base side. But good stuff so far. Pretty fun matchup. Some good competitiveness between these two teams in the early goings. In any case, makes for an exciting ball game.
Yeah, it does. The Toronto offense has showed up here in this one. Still looking for another run before the inning concludes. This is a good at-bat from Victor Payano to come back from yet another hit given up in the inning.
0-2 pitch up and away for ball 1, making it a 1-2 count. So just 1 out. Still a big opportunity for the Maple Leafs to try and add to their total. 1 run scored already so far in the inning. 4 hits on the game so far. Payano set. The 1-2 pitch. Swung on. Foul back. Off the grandstand here at Labatt Memorial Park.
Marcus Connect still making these tough battles against Victor Payano. That's yet another ball that was fouled off, and I'm not sure how many he's at already through 2 at-bats. However, that's been most of Victor Payano's pitch count up to this point.
So the count remains 1-2. Next pitch outside, evening things up at 2-2. Payano trying to get a bit of swing and miss on that outside fastball. You can see the thought process that Payano is trying to get. He's trying to go for a lot more swing and miss, but a slightly, I would say, a tighter strike zone than we've seen in some other games. So some calls not quite going in his favor, but been pretty consistent between the two pitchers so far. Diolio attempt over at the stolen base at second, but some good speed from Ross. Put 2 runners in scoring position.
So good for Payano to get the strikeout. That's 5 already through an inning and 2/3. Nobody that has hit a ball in play has been ruled out.
Every single out that Payano has gotten so far has gone down via the strikeout, but giving up some contact because of it. It looks like they're going to intentionally walk Puig over to first to load the bases.
I do like that call from Rup Chander. That Yasiel Puig's just been so good with the contact skill this season. You want to face a guy like J.J. Dutton. You know you can keep the ball on the ground. You can make a play anywhere in the infield.
First pitch to him, swung on. Drifting foul down the first base side, goes into the stands. But it does make sense if you're Rup Chanderdat. Obviously, not just in the average column. Puig hitting .402 on the season. J.J. Dutton still pretty well, but hitting .291 in comparison. And then you look at the RBI totals as well, and that stands out pretty well. 42 RBIs on the season for Puig compared to 16 for J.J. Dutton, all in just 10 less at-bats. So I think it's a smart call. You can't really argue with it too much, especially with first base open. The 0-1 pitch. Down and in for ball 1.
Again, a good pitch there by Payano. If you want to try and get the slider in on these guys, you want to kind of keep the fastball more middle when you look at the kind of vertical play with his fastball. The curveball you really want to keep up and away and kind of out of the zone. That's where the curveball will start and just start to dip down.
So we'll see if it becomes a factor. Payano set the 1-1. Just a bit outside for ball 2.
That's another one that's just so close. Payano obviously not too excited about that call to make it 2-1. But again, you know you're able to come back from it.
I think if he tries to throw the slider or the changeup in the exact same spot, he might get a decent result. I don't know if the curveball will really come into play on where that fastball was located, but we'll see. 2-1. Swung on and missed for strike 2. Goes back to the fastball.
And with that fastball, you know you can kind of set up any kind of breaking ball. You can either go slider in and about the thigh, kind of middle of the zone. You can go breaking ball at any spot in the bottom of the zone for a strikeout.
That one goes up and away. Tried to go back to the fastball, looks like again. Try and get some swing and miss, but a bit too far off the plate. Another full count situation with 2 outs. A big opportunity for both teams. Bases loaded for the Maple Leafs, but 1 out to get out of it if you're Payano in the majors. As that one is called off the plate for a walk. Looked pretty tight on the edge of the strike zone, at least from our perspective up here. Another example of the kind of tighter strike zone that we are seeing today. And that's home plate umpire and crew chief Justin Van Horn back there. Looks like we're going to have a quick meeting on the mound. But at least for us up here, that appeared to be a pretty good pitch.
It was, and what a pitch. It was a nice fastball, kind of middle in on the zone. It just missed by about half an inch. It was almost right there on that edge of the zone, however, just enough off.
So because of that, that will drive in a run. Yoki Pena coming in.
It's been kind of a smaller zone here from Justin Van Horn.
So bases still loaded. Crix Tavares in the box. Gets drilled on the first pitch that he sees. In a situation like this, the Majors down 2-0. Oh, and it looks like we're going to have some talks back and forth. Tavares not happy. Majors coming in. Some heated discussions over there. Obviously, you never want to get drilled first pitch of an at-bat, but with how close it is, I would assume it was not intentional, especially with the bases loaded, a really dangerous situation. But already some tensions in this one back and forth.
Yeah, like you said, it's not something you want to do intentionally, especially with the bases loaded. You're already down by 2. You don't want to extend that anymore. Crix Tavares maybe kind of had the wrong impression on that one.
And especially when you just need one more out to get out of the inning, trying to strand those runners around the bases would not really make sense to drill a pitcher. I think it was just an inside pitch.
Victor Payano still has some words for Crix Tavares.
So some tensions between the two teams so far. Still making for a pretty exciting ball game nonetheless. Bases still loaded, 2 outs. Puig over at third, Dutton at second, Tavares now at first. Dennis Day Banning in the box once again. First pitch to him. Up and away for ball 1.
Payano just hasn't really... It's been difficult for him to find the zone in this one. It's been interesting to see that fastball has really been riding up on him. The breaking ball has not exactly been a pitch that these hitters have been challenging all that much. It's not something very common that you see here from the big left-hander.
1-0 pitch. Swung on. Popped up. Over to right center field. The right fielder Zadunik getting under it to make the play. They'll strand a bases loaded situation, but a good amount of damage done. 3 runners coming around to score. Maple Leafs now have a 3-0 lead. Out hitting the Majors 4-1. And a good start if you're the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, it was a big inning there from Toronto. You see all 9 hitters coming up to bat in the inning, and to be able to score 3 against this London team, it's so big, especially being on the road. Majors have been arguably the best team in the league when it comes to being at home. They've only lost 4 games all year here in Labatt Memorial Ballpark of their 20. So to be able to build this kind of lead that you have now, especially early in this ball game, you have the momentum now. It's huge when it comes to later in this game. You might see the bullpen a lot earlier in this one. Payano up to more than 50 pitches already.
It at least looks up here that it's kind of starting with the tighter strike zone. And because the strike zone is a little tight, it looks like Payano's usual strikeout pitches, obviously the curveball, the slider, that mix, isn't paying off as well as he would like. And because of that, he's having to default to his fastball a little bit more. So we've been seeing a whole lot more fastballs, but he's just not finding the proper location with the fastball either. We've been seeing when it has been working, a lot kind of going just to the outer part of the plate, just a bit off, trying to get that swing and miss, trying to get those for the strikeouts, which we have seen working, a good amount of strikeouts in the game so far. But it has then been resulting in those high and away fastballs that we have been seeing to these righty batters. So it's just been a tough mix so far, and it just hasn't been able to lock in exactly where the strike zone is, and I think it's just had a domino effect across the rest of his repertoire.
No, it exactly has, and when you don't have your go-to pitch of that high and away fastball, it kind of makes you overthink everything else a little bit. You see, it's almost like, oh, if this doesn't work, if this will work maybe. You know, it's just kind of the overthinking and kind of losing the little bit of confidence. It happens with every pitcher in the league and in baseball in general, so just kind of the growth of this game. It's going to be something to look into later on.
So the Majors looking to try and shift some momentum back in their favor. Tucker Zdunek getting his first crack at it in the box. Swing and miss there. And yeah, and as much as we're talking about Payano's pitching side, you do have to give some shout-outs to the Maple Leaf offense as well. Just some really, really sharp at-bats in terms of picking their pitches, battling things off as Zdunek drills that one deep towards left field. Drifting foul, though. It goes out of play. Sharp piece of hitting. We know Zdunek has some opposite side power. Put it on display a few times so far this season.
That one had the distance on it, just went a little too... It sliced just a little too much towards that foul line to go foul. Would have been a leadoff homer if it stayed fair.
Zdunek will try and do it again, an 0-2 count. That one downstairs, bounces in the dirt.
And again, that's a good take from Tucker Zdunek. We said before the game, it's going to be that fastball in the zone. It's going to be the breaking balls always down and away, especially to left-handers like this. You want to try and lay off that once you see the spin.
That one swung on and missed. Strike 3 called. Veselinowic's second strikeout of the ball game. Back-to-back now, carrying over from the bottom of the first. And that'll bring up the designated hitter for today, Starling Joseph. Joseph batting .241 on the season. Plenty of pop in the bat, but has struggled a bit at times with the strikeout. He's hoping to improve in today's contest. Always flexing the power before the game in the BP. Gets a good crack at that one. Absolutely no doubt about it. Wow, what a shot from Starling Joseph. Outfield didn't need to move a muscle. Wow, hard not to be a bit speechless by that one. The 6th home run of the season. What a way to try and swing things back in your favor if you're the London Majors.
And how about on the very first pitch of the at-bat, Starling Joseph got a fastball right in the heart of the zone and really rode that for a mile. That might actually be in the Thames River. We've made that comment a couple of times. That might actually be way over there. Nobody moved in the outfield for that one. That one was just...
You get to a point where there's no point in attempting to try and run for it. Just clubbed it incredibly well. So now a 3-1 lead, still in favor of the Maple Leafs, but Majors trying to push back. Jared Burney hoping to carry forward the momentum, getting his first at-bat of the ball game.
You remember how we were talking a couple of weeks ago with the guys with that special kind of crack off the bat? That was it right there with Starling Joseph.
That was the attention grabber that I think all the fans in attendance here needed a little bit. Obviously a tough start to the inning, but yeah, wow, everyone was listening to that one as that one's grounded to the third baseman. Long throw over towards first, but routine for the second out.
So a good way to come back from the long homer for Veselinovic. He'll get the second out of the inning now.
And like we mentioned, kind of going back to that Starling Joseph home run, he absolutely clubs them in batting practice before every game. I was talking to Roop Chandradad before the game got going, and there were a couple that he would hit. We had to completely pause our conversation just to admire how well he was striking some of those pitches, and that almost looks like a BP home run. He just absolutely clubbed it.
That was more than a BP home run. That's a kind of in MLB The Show one where you turn the sliders all the way up and it goes 700 feet. That was that right there.
So count 2-0. That one drifts a bit outside. Good plate discipline from Lewis. The left fielder getting his first at-bat of the ball game. Great numbers on his fairly short season so far. Just 35 at-bats on the year. 3-0. That one catches the bottom part of the plate. Looks a little low. Looked like Jordan Lewis thought it was low. See him taking his time a little bit to get back in the box.
Yeah, Jordan Lewis has just been getting on base so often. A .439 on base percentage on the season, and only 10 games played for him.
That one again looked like a pretty similar pitch. Pretty well down. And 3-2. That one swung on foul. Looks like Veselinovic was almost going to dip back to the same well 3 times in a row. Very, very close borderline pitches here at the bottom of the zone. But a full count with 2 outs now in the bottom of the second. Drives that one up, a lot of lift on it, but not too far. Shortstop Tavares making the play. Shutting things down, but a big, loud Starling Joseph home run gets the London Majors on the board. The Maple Leafs still up 3-1, out hitting the Majors 4-2 as well. But hey, some good signs of life, to say the least. So for those who don't know, obviously we have plenty of events here at Labatt Memorial Park. Today's a pretty fun one. Today is Shake Night here at the Forks of the Thames, proudly presented by Equals Brewing in support of Baker Center for Pancreatic Cancer. It's a special event featuring Shakes Lager. If you haven't tried one, be sure to get your hands on one. A portion of all those proceeds are going to support the Baker Center's important work in cancer care and research. There's also some excitement down in the stands as well. All the fans in attendance taking part in a silent auction throughout the course of the night. All proceeds, again, going directly to that same foundation. It's a meaningful evening here at the Diamond, full of awareness, community support, and baseball under the lights. Again, Shake Night, one of many fun events, to say the least, at Labatt Memorial Park.
Yeah, it's always fun when we have a special event. Well, this is probably one of the best ones we've had. Beautiful hat you have there, by the way. The white and purple, those are the ones you will see on your majors tonight. And with the stand down by the gate, down the third baseline where the Majors dugout is, you can kind of see all the different jerseys that are there for silent auction. There are 6 different jerseys, all with Majors names and signatures on them. They're also silent auctioning the little mini fridge they have down there as well. That bid is starting at, I believe, 200. I'm not sure what it's at the moment, however.
That'd be a good pickup. I think that'd be the one to get.
It would be a very nice pickup. Again, it's just for a great cause, the cancer research. It's always important to kind of get involved in something like that, and to be able to bring it to a baseball game like the London Majors, where we have a lot of fans here. We're nearly sold out. Is a very perfect opportunity to do just that.
Obviously, we love watching a good game of baseball. everyone here in attendance does, but when you get to pair that with a good cause, it just makes it that much better. As that one's drifted up the middle, just gets past the glove of Inoa at second for a base hit. Matt Brent getting things going in a good direction once again for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Again, if you're just joining us, it's the Maple Leafs here in town in London taking on the Majors. The Maple Leafs up 3-1. But some good action back and forth so far in this contest. First pitch down and away, ball 1 to Yoki Pena, who doubled in his last at-bat, ended up coming around to score.
Yeah, so it'll be the same situation that Pena had last time. Brant gets on for the second time. Now a double and a single for him. Again, to lead off the inning, Matt Brant's led off the second and third now. They're already through their order nearly completely for the second time.
Pano's pitch count starting to get up there. It's a 2-0 pitch coming in, swung on, fouled right back. 60 pitches in the ball game so far. Bit tough for him to find the proper spot in the zone, but also some great at-bats, some great battles from these Maple Leafs batters to get the game going early on.
Yeah, it's just been difficult for Payano to get any kind of momentum going in this one.
That one popped up, shallow right. Right fielder Zadunik getting underneath it to make the first out here in the top of the third.
Yeah, there's the good range by Tucker Zadunik. Zadunik showed right there. He's able to come all the way in. He's only about a couple feet away from the warning track. Usually with a lefty at the plate.
Some good stuff. He loves flashing the speed when he can. Obviously, we saw that triple in that last game on Wednesday. Was absolutely booking it around the bases, so can kind of flex the speed in the outfield as well. Drew Howard now in the box. First pitch to him, called strike.
Yeah, Howard struck out his first time up. I believe that was on 3 pitches where Howard was taken down.
A 1 pitch down and in the dirt. Diolio, good job to keep it in front of him. So pretty inflated pitch count so far for Payano, but been very well performing in the strikeout column. Already 5 in the ball game so far. 3 in the first, 2 in the second. It's the 1-1 pitch coming in. Swung on and missed for strike 2.
Yeah, and again, we talked about how, he's been struggling. The pitch count is so high, but we almost seem to fail to remember that he's only given up 3 runs through 2 2/3 innings. So it's not like it's been terrible where he's given up 7 or 8 runs already. He has to be pulled after just 3 innings. It's still a very strong performance from him. He's starting to gain that momentum back.
Speaking of good momentum, a strikeout there, his 6th in the ball game already. And just like that, after giving up the single, now 2 outs, a fly out to right and a strikeout.
Yeah, and again, right there, that's how you want to gain the momentum back. You want to gain the confidence in these kinds of pitches. Again, as you said, that's now half a dozen strikeouts for Victor Payano, and again, not even through 3 innings. The strikeout numbers have definitely been there. It's just the control on the fastball. He needs to work on a little bit throughout this game. He will start to find it later on.
As Spencer Ross gets going, his second at-bat of the ball game, singled and came around to score in the second. Count 0-1 on him. Again, Matt Brant still over at first for the Maple Leafs, but 2 outs here in the top of the third. The 0-1 pitch downstairs, ball 1. Obviously, Payano is one of the mainstays in this Majors rotation, but for those who don't know, he's also the pitching coach as well. So if there's anyone in this squad who's able to kind of talk themselves through it, know what they need to do to slow this game down, get momentum back in their favor, it's the likes of Victor Payano.
Yeah, and he just has so much experience, especially in this ballpark, to know what's going on. And
So that one finds the gap in between first and second. Tucker Zadunik rushing in to hold it to a single. Matt Brandt gets held over at second, but a good piece of hitting from Spencer Ross to keep the inning alive.
yeah, it's another difficult play. Toronto's really found just kind of the perfect spot in the infield to get these balls through, and another prime example of that there for Spencer Ross. That's 2 singles already on the day for him. The Leafs are already up to 6 hits on the day.
Yeah, nothing too crazy in the power column, but really, really good so far at finding the gaps exactly like you mentioned. We've seen a few go right up Main Street, kind of over the second base bag. That one obviously finding the gap over to right. So that one sounded like a bit of a broken bat. Escato getting underneath it, makes the play for the third out. Strand's a couple runners on, no damage done. But the Maple Leafs get a couple more hits. But good job for Payano to really slow things down and put a big fat 0 on the board once again.
Yeah, again, a good inning there from Payano. Only sees 4 batters, the least he's seen in an inning so far through the first 3 here, and it's just the confidence is really starting to grow a little bit more, and as we continue through this ball game, we'll see him for at least another inning or 2 in this one, possibly more. I'm just saying at least just that Payano is it's almost automatic to see him go 5.
So some good stuff so far. And speaking of good stuff, we'll throw things down to Evan Fredrickson. Always a good piece of info here and there. Evan, what do you got for us today?
Gentlemen, thank you very much. Cristian Inoa is putting up one of the most unforgettable seasons as a Major that fans will hopefully remember. A guy who didn't start this season with the organization, but he's hitting 9 for 17 against Maple Leaf pitching. He also ranks among the 97th percentile in on-base slugging in OPS. His OPS plus as of right now sits at 141. And to put the icing on the cake, gentlemen, he is walking more than he is striking out, a stat that is very rare to come by in the CBL. Gentlemen.
Thanks so much, Evan. Some great points there. Some impressive stuff pretty much from all across this Majors lineup when it comes to plate discipline, when it comes to contact, when it comes to some power, the home run ball, the small ball as well. It's been impeccably impressive and really contributed to that #1 spot that we've seen in the standings and that the Majors are really trying their best to hold on to as we push through the remainder of the season.
Yeah, it will be very important to see how the rest of the season goes. Currently in the bottom of the second over in Burnie Arbor, the Cardinals actually have the 3-1 lead over the Welland Jackfish, so kind of the same situation that this game has. Hamilton has 7 hits already through 2 innings. Welland's only down to 2 in that one. They're starting to crawl back. It was a 3-run first inning for the Cardinals. And as for the Majors here, again, you're only down by 2. Again, like you only have 2 hits, but you've only seen 8 of the 9 hitters come up for this lineup, so you know there's still so much to go here in this ball game, and you are still in it, obviously. Obviously, the confidence was a little bit down after the top of the second inning. However, you have the 1 run. You got out of the inning after just facing 4 batters. So it'll be good to see what kind of adjustments they can make here against Veselinovic.
And David Dreyer's getting the first go of it here in the bottom of the third. A 1-0 count to him. Next pitch inside. Looks like it clipped him, though, so he'll make the trot over towards first. Looks like it just might have clipped his arm guard there. So just like that, the Majors will get things going with a runner on base as we'll turn things back to the top of the order. Michael Escato entering the batter's box. Singled and stole a base in his first go.
And again, that's the kind of start you want to this inning. You want your leadoff guy to get on base, and with Dreyer's getting grazed by that one in the elbow, it's big for the momentum shift.
First pitch to Escato called strike. I think that's what I love about the lower part of this Majors lineup is it almost feels like you have 3 or 4 leadoff batters who could be thrown into the leadoff spot on any given day. Some great contact abilities, some great speed as well, and some good plate discipline. Everything you kind of want in a leadoff batter. Next pitch up and away, ball 1.
No, that's exactly right. And You look at 7, 8, 9, Bernie, Lewis, and Dreyers. You also have Babiak in that mix. They're just all so gritty when they come to the plate. You know that you're going to shave off 7, 8, 9 pitches from this batter unless they get on earlier in the count.
1-1 pitch, and Dreyers was darting towards it, but that one popped up to the pitcher. Good hustle from Dreyers to get back. Looks like there might have been a bit of a hit and run, stolen base situation, so he was well off the first base bag, but absolutely hauled it to get back to the base.
Yeah, just a tough one there. Estrada just got a little bit too under it. Really had that ball just kind of flare up in the air, and thankfully Dreyers was able to get it back. Veselinovic might have had him if he made the throw as he got it.
So 1 out now here, bottom of the third. Trent Lenahan entering into the box. First pitch to him. Up and away for ball 1. So a fun game on the board here at the Forks of the Thames. One of 3 games on the go across the CBL. Guelph is in Chatham taking on the Barnstormers, and a big one, Welland in Hamilton taking on the Cardinals. Next pitch in there called strike. As of right now, for a bit of a check to the out-of-town scoreboard, Guelph is currently leading over Chatham in the bottom of the second 4-0. And then over in Hamilton, the Cardinals are leading against the Jackfish so far, 3-1 in the top of the third. So a whole lot of action for some Friday night baseball. Some important games as well, as that one swung on and missed by Lenahan, making it a 1-2 count.
Yeah, that's a really important game for both the Cardinals and the Majors here. A win for Hamilton, meaning that they will be tied in the standings. It'll put London 2 games up on both sides of that matchup.
1-2 pitch to Lenahan, swung on, fouled back. Yeah, if you're the Majors or a Majors fan, you are itching right now for a Cardinals victory. That would almost give you a little bit, a smidge of a sigh of relief in the standings. You have a little bit more wiggle room when it comes to trying to grind out these wins towards the later part of the season. Worst case scenario would be a Welland win and a Majors loss tonight. But a lot of time for things to change and a whole lot of baseball left for your Friday night.
Yeah, and again, Welland still has a game in hand against the Majors. The Hamilton Cardinals with 3 games in hand. So a win for Hamilton will definitely give London the advantage when it comes to that.
That one swung on, clubbed between the shortstop and the third baseman, finding the left field grass for a base hit. Great piece of hitting. Lenahan really just turned on that one. Would have been tough to make a play across the board. So now 2 runners on, 1 in scoring position. 1 out here in the bottom of the third.
Yeah, and who better to come up in this situation than your best hitter so far this season in Cristian Inoa. I mean, just looking at his numbers, he's just so electric. The 356 average, a 1206 OPS in 30 games. He's second in the league in home runs and tied with Yasiel Puig as well for RBIs.
Pretty impressive stuff.
Very impressive stuff.
Speaking of impressive, Cristian Inoa doing great so far this season. A big opportunity for him. Tying run now over at first as that one swung on, fouled back.
Yeah, Cristian Inoa, again, he's played 10 less games, came here at the start of June. However, 4 more RBIs than the second man, Michael Estrada. 2 more home runs than the second man. He's not too far behind in hits, and he's missing just 30 hits in 10 games.
You know, we've talked about it before, the kind of mid to late season pickups from the Majors, and the big ones are Inoa and Lewis. Both have been impeccable at the dish so far this season and very valuable in the field as well. Inoa making some great plays at second. We've seen some good action from Lewis in left as well. But I have to talk about the bats. This 1-2 pitch comes in, drilled down the third base line, but foul.
Yeah, so Inoa just trying to get anything going here. If you can bring a run into this inning, it'll be big, not only for your confidence, but for the momentum in this one. Veselinovic was very strong through the first 2 innings, and only giving up 1 run and not very many base runners through the first 2.
Been pretty standout so far. The 1-2 pitch, just a bit inside, ball 2. Vasilinovic doing incredibly well for the Maple Leafs. We've mentioned it before, one of their best pitchers and one of the best pitchers across the league. Pretty standout performances week to week. But his first crack against the London Majors, the 2-2 pitch, upstairs, ball 3.
Again, turning into a fantastic at-bat here. He was down 0-2. Now the count goes to 3-2. Again, the Majors have been running the pitch count up on Vasilinovic now. This will be pitch number 45 for him on the evening.
Payoff pitch, 3-2, swung on, driven right up Main Street. Just gets past the glove of the second baseman, Howard. Dreyer's rounding third. He comes in to score. Lenahan now over at third for an RBI single off the bat of Cristian Inoa.
And as I said, that's exactly what you want here. If you're the London Majors, that brings your confidence back in the offense. It might bring the confidence back in Victor Payano, as well as the game is still very close in this one, but you get the momentum now. You runners on the corners, still only 1 away. A guy who is one of your best power hitters in the lineup in Eduardo Diolio. Again, doesn't have the home run numbers that people would expect from the Majors catcher. However, still has the skill to at least bring in Lenahan here if needed.
So again, a big opportunity, still just 1 out in the inning, but still a double play situation. Eduardo Diolio hoping to cash things in. Tying run now just 90 feet away. Runners on the corners. First pitch swung on, fouled down the first base side. So good effort from the Majors to battle back after giving up 3 runs in the second. Scoring one themselves off the solo Starling Joseph shot. One scored this inning as that one's fouled back.
See, usually the approach we've seen from Eddie this season is more right center. However, if you look at the way the back of your screen, you see JJ Dutton kind of moved over to his left, more towards that right center gap. So if I'm Eddie Diolio, I'm understanding that I want to try and pull a baseball here. There's so much space over there in left center that could even bring in 2.
That one's lined right to the third baseman. Great positioning from Ross at third. Majors runners not really able to do much of anything. They'll hold. Lenahan at third. And Inoa at first. And that'll bring up Tucker Zadunik. His second go of it, struck out back in the second. Zadunik pretty much able to hit to most places around the diamond. A lot of pull side power, but I've seen quite a few home runs to the opposite side as well.
Yeah, he kind of showed that power off his first time up to plate. That was to lead off the second inning. He had a foul ball homer basically right down the line. Went right over that Cobra Chicken logo just on the foul territory side of the foul pole.
Count now 2-0 on Zadunik. We'll see how much Vasilinovic kind of pitches around Zadunik given his power. Second base still open over there, so wouldn't be the worst to walk Zadunik in a situation like this, but still a dangerous at-bat to follow if Starling Joseph gets up to the plate, who's already hit a home run in today's game.
Yeah, big spot here to try and bring a run in.
That one catches the plate. Strike one, making it a 3-1 count with 2 outs here in the bottom of the third.
And again, you see the outfield so far back as well, and maybe a flare into the outfield just above these infielders could even get you on base here.
That one's fouled back. Good job by Veselinovic to battle back here, making it a full count. So a great night so far here in London, Ontario, and a pretty exciting baseball game between these two teams. The payoff pitch swung on, drilled deep towards right field. Puig able to drift back and make the grab for the third out. But the Majors continuing to claw back in this one. Another run scored. Still a 3-2 ball game in favor of the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Stand out this season with the Jersey Acrylic Trophy, starting at just $15.95. Fully customizable with your team's logo, colors, and player details, and double-sided for twice the impact. A custom plate can be attached to the base for personalized engraving on each trophy. Great for player recognition. Ideal for keeper awards, participation trophies, or end-of-season celebrations. Order yours today at nuthers.com or call 1-800-265-1554.
Smoke alarms expire after 10 years. Check the date and test your smoke alarm today.
A working smoke alarm is a gift the whole family can enjoy.
Follow us online at LDNONT Fire.
Everyone dreams of being great. Only a select few can be iconic. But only one is chosen. Introducing the Chosen One from Rawlings. The all-new one-piece composite iteration of the top-rated and established Icon BB Core bat. Everyone dreams of being great. Only a select few can be iconic. But only one is chosen. Introducing the Chosen One from Rawlings. The all-new one-piece composite iteration of the top-rated and established Icon BB Core bat.
And welcome back to Labatt Memorial Park. Leafs in town taking on the Majors. Toronto leading 3-2, out hitting the Majors 6-4, but the Majors slowly clawing their way back. Toronto got off to a 3-0 lead back in the top of the second. Majors then scoring in the bottom of the second, bottom of the third, as now we push into the top of the fourth.
Yeah, it was a good third inning from both sides of the ball here for the London Majors. You're able to put up another run. It's now a one-run ball game as we get ready for the top half of the fourth. It'll be Yasiel Puig to lead it all off. But again, you have the confidence back. You have the momentum back in this one. You're only a run down with 6 more innings to go. If I'm London, I know I'm still looking good in this ball game.
Plenty of ball left to play here for some Friday night action. First pitch to Puig. Bit outside, ball 1. We're now pushing through the third time through the order for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Been very productive, great at-bats for through the first couple innings. Big breaking pitch doesn't clip the zone. Looked pretty close, though, at least from up here in the box. Again, this has been a very, very tight strike zone comparatively to some other games that we have seen. Count now 2-0. .2-0 pitch. Just a bit upstairs for ball 3.
All these pitches have just been so good for Victor Payano. It's just missing just a little bit. off the zone. We'll have to see what he goes with here on the 3-0.
That one catches the top of the plate. Looks pretty similar to the last one. Now 3-1.
And so now you're back in the count. You know, there's a strike there against Puig. So you know you're still in it. You can make a battle out of this here if you're Payano.
3-1. Swung on, hit well, but well high. Both outfielders drifting over. Zadunik will be the one to make the play in right for the first out. Great recovery from Victor Payano after a few pitches didn't quite go in his direction.
Yeah, and that's the start of the inning you need if you're Victor Payano. It's the first time you've got the leadoff man to retire here in this evening, and now you're sitting pretty good with one out early.
J.J. Dutton in the box. He'll take the first pitch strike. Dutton 0 for 1 so far. Struck out back in the first and walked his way on base in the second. 0-1 pitch to him. Swung on, fouled back.
You can see the confidence is there in Victor Payano now. Every pitch he's throwing is in the spot he wants it to be, and the breaking ball is moving as the same way we usually see from all of his starts here in a Majors uniform. It's good to see that come back. Now already up 0-2 on J.J. Dutton.
That pitch downstairs in the dirt for ball 1.
Again, another good one there. It is always very difficult to go back-to-back breaking balls. Obviously, you see it the first time, you kind of understand where the spin is and where it's going to start to break. A good effort by Payano, however, the good eye by Dutton there.
1-2. Swung on, driven to short. Just takes a funky hop, though. Finds the grass over in left center for a base hit. Some good stuff. Another example of the Maple Leafs doing a great job finding the gaps, playing a good bit of small ball here to find their way on base. Marks their 7th hit of the ball game.
Yeah, it's been strong for this Toronto offense. Here in this one, 7 hits through 3 1/3 innings against Victor Payano. You've had a hit in every inning so far in this one.
So Cristian Tavares now in the box. First pitch to him. Catches the plate for strike 1. Tavares, again, 0 for 1. Struck out in the first and was hit by a pitch in the second. That's where we saw a little bit of that tension between the two teams a bit earlier on. The 0-1. Just a bit outside off the plate for ball 1. And off that point, I think one of the more impressive things that we've seen from Payano today is the demonstration of his level-headedness. Obviously, hasn't been getting the calls on the plate that he's been wanting to. We've seen tensions flare a little bit here and there, but done a great job of slowing things down and really been improving, especially back in the third and now here in the fourth. So one out here, Dutton over on first. Time called.
Maybe a way to throw off Payano just a slight bit. Payano's ahead in this count, and he's looking good so far. Back-to-back 2-strike counts for him.
Next pitch swung on, hit well deep towards right field. It's going to touch the grass for a base hit. Zadunik having to run over there. Dutton rounding third on his way home. Tavares stopping in at second for an RBI double. Widening the lead once again now, a 2-run ball game. The Maple Leafs up 4-2.
Yeah, I like the idea from Payano. He just missed it slightly. That was a curveball that was supposed to be down and away to Tavares. Just kind of hung on him a little bit. Tavares was able to read it right away and know exactly where that was going. And again, just another perfectly placed ball there from the Maple Leafs.
Well, it didn't look like the defense had Tavares to poke it to right quite like that. Zadunik was almost positioned closer to right center than right, I would say. So it was quite the hustle that he had to do to try and just get to the ball. Good job on him to keep it to a double. That positioning, it would be very easy for that to turn into a triple. But in any case, still a runner in scoring position and one out as Dave Banning comes into the box. That one swung on, fouled back.
Yeah, the Leafs have just been so confident, so patient at the plate. We talked about it, which is how good they are at getting men on base. A 370 on base, an 824 OPS, 126 walks on the year, and it's just been so strong for them, especially at the plate.
0-1 pitch upstairs. Big throw by Diolio back to second, but good jump back to the base. Tavares over there.
Again, just another smart play by Eddie Diolio. He just really has that chemistry with both Lenahan and Escato over there in the infield. And if that throw was just a little bit more to Escato's right, that might have been an out there. Eddie Diolio has such a strong arm. It really doesn't matter what kind of lead you have over there. Almost like a Yadier Molina kind of with those kind of plays. And he was kind of really famous for the back pitch, especially on runners on first.
I think that is a great comparison to make between Diolio and Molina there. Something he practices all the time, and you'll struggle to find someone whose head is more actively involved in the ball game day to day than Eduardo Diolio. 1-1 pitch swung on, hit high, but hit foul down the first base side over all the heads of the fans in the stands. And obviously we think back to the skills competitions back during the All-Star weekend in Chatham, Kent. Eduardo Diolio obviously doing impeccably well out in Chatham. Payano set on the mound, the 1-2 to Dave Banning. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Payano gets his 7th strikeout of the ball game, and the second out here in the top of the 4th.
Yeah, again, just another good sequence there. Payano able to get the breaking ball down in the dirt against Dave Banning, who's kind of known for swinging at those kinds of pitches. Even though he only has 6 strikeouts on the year, 31 strikeouts on the year through 29 games. So you know he's a guy that will try and chase those pitches down in the dirt.
First pitch to Matt Brandt. Called swing there for strike 1.
Yeah, so Matt Brandt already 2 for 2 today. A double in the second, a single in the third, right back here again in the 4th. As he's really been busy.
0-1 pitch to him. Breaking pitch, doesn't catch the plate for ball 1. Again, if you're just joining us, the Maple Leafs have done a great job so far in trying to hit around Victor Payano. A lot of good small ball, finding the gaps. Some impressive stuff, to say the least, pretty much across the lineup as a whole. 2 outs. The 1-1 pitch. Just a bit off the plate. We'll check and see if he went around on the swing. They really didn't. So they'll make it a 2-1 count.
So that's 3 straight breaking balls thrown by Victor Payano. Both of Brandt's hits have come off the fastball from Victor Payano. Interesting to see the kind of adjustment in his sequence here.
I think it's important to see because we almost saw him relying a bit more on the fastball at certain points earlier on. So it is good to see him shifting back, kind of swapping between his repertoire a little bit more. The 2-1. That one they'll check and see if he went around. They ruled that he did for strike 2.
Yeah, he got the first fastball in there. That was perfectly placed. Just a little bit above the zone. You know Brandt is looking for that fastball. Once you see it out of the hand, it's almost a guarantee he's going to try and at least make an effort to swing on it.
So one runner scored so far this inning. Tavares over at second. The 2-2 pitch swung on, grounded to short. Escato makes the pickup. The throw over towards first. Routinely done for the third out. So again, Payano working to shut down some dangerous situations, but one run does come in to score to make it a 4-2 lead for the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, again, just another good inning for the Toronto offense, able to put up yet another run to extend the lead back up to 2. But again, this game is still not close to being over yet. It's still only a 2-run game, and once this London offense will start to pick up their momentum, it's going to be big for them. And same thing we got on Wednesday. It's Adam Sluss and Jane Babiak giving us the stare down.
It looked like Adam Thuss was a little upset that the camera broke from that staring contest again. Really trying to come up with it. Oh, there we go. He's locked in again.
Oh, and Babiak walked away.
Oh,
there we go.
There we go.
Whittling it too. Eventually we'll get the whole team to do it.
They're just so wide-eyed. Oh my goodness. the sunflower seeds, just the cherry on top. Oh my goodness. Never a dull moment over in that Majors dugout.
Now it seems like we're trying to get everybody to take a look.
Looks like it. Repping the Powerade there. And fan favorite Skylar Janice, always having a good time. Always all smiles down there as well.
It's always fun here at the ballpark.
There's absolutely no fun being had here at the ballpark on a Friday night. 0 smiles, all doom and gloom, clearly. But in any case, hope you're having some fun watching here at home as well, whether that be on CBL TV or Majors TV on YouTube. If you're just joining us, Justin Koehler up here in the box alongside Owen Taylor. Evan Fredrickson down on field level. Thanks so much for tuning in. Appreciate having you here with us on what's a pretty eventful Friday night across the board in the CBL. A few games underway, so we appreciate having you here with us in London, Ontario for some Maple Leafs and Majors action. Starling Joseph will get the first crack at it here in the bottom of the 4th. 1 for 1 so far. A big, loud solo shot in the second. Got the Majors on the board. The 0-1 pitch to him. It's a bit off the plate. Ball 1.
Yeah, Joseph, if you remember back in the second, just that jaw-dropping homer.
1-1 pitch. Swung on. Grounded to the third baseman. Long throw over towards first in time. Good effort there from Ross. Good positioning as well for the first out in the bottom of the 4th.
Yeah, so that's now 3 straight Majors retired by Nick Veselinovic. Going back to the 3rd inning, it's been kind of a groove he's been putting himself in now in this one, and that's not exactly what you want to see from an opposing pitcher, especially on the road. Once they're in a groove, it's kind of difficult to take them out of it, as the crowd does not really affect it all that much.
Some good stuff so far from Veselinovic. It's Jarrett Burney now in the box. 0 for 1 in the ball game. Grounded out to third in his last go, back in the second. 1-0 pitch to him. Squares to bunt, but it drifts its way foul. Majors still looking for their first real rally of the ball game. They were able to get a few hits in the 3rd. Would love to carry it over into the 4th. A walk and 2 singles back in the third. Dreyer's coming around to score. Next pitch swung on, popped up. A few players running in for it. Just out of the glove of Brandt. Just a few inches off of it. A tough read for him. Lights here at Labatt Memorial Park often coming into play on situations like that, but for Jared Burney, it's a bit of a sigh of relief in the box.
We're actually going to have the Leafs field managers come out to talk to the home plate umpire here. He might have an argument for this one. Burney, once he popped it up, was starting to move over to first base. Burney and Brandt talking about it as well. And as Burney was moving, he just kind of stopped on the base pass. We're going to have the umpires come in and convene about this. But Burney just kind of stopped almost in the way of Matt Brandt. Now, the ball wasn't going down the line, but Brandt was kind of on his way down the line and just kind of cut over to his right on the play. I'm not sure if it really affected that much. They were going to say it didn't.
So looking back on it, it looked like Burney kind of carried forward on the follow-through from the swing and almost entered the opposing side batter's box, and that was just how he got in the way of Brandt, who was trying to make the play. I think because it wasn't intentional, it was just on the follow-through. That's why the umpiring crew ruled that there was no interference, no issues on the play. So it's a 1-2 count. But some good discussions there. And if you are the Maple Leafs, it's a question you do have to ask regardless to try and see if you can get the out. But in any case, Jarrett Burney's still alive. The count now 2-2 with 1 out here in the bottom of the fourth.
Yeah, obviously, I understand the argument being made for it. It's obviously something you want to look at if it's going to affect the play.
So that one's grounded down the third base side, foul. I think no matter what, it would have been a tough play to overturn. It would have essentially come down to whether the first or third base umpires saw a different angle on it, but I think due to lack of intention, it makes sense. Would have been tough to overturn. The 2-2 pitch swung on, fouled back, turned into a pretty good battle for Jarrett Burney.
This is really nice. That's now 3 straight foul balls for the major center fielder. 0 for 1 today. Grounded out to third back in the second inning. Looking to change up the result just a tiny bit.
It's at-bats like this that you have to go for if you're the majors, as that one's hit well deep towards center field. Center fielder Dutton able to get to it cleanly for the second out. But I think if you're the majors, your priority right now is just having good at-bats. Drive up these pitch counts. Try and get Veselinovic out of this game and try and get to the bullpen. Might have some better results there. Veselinovic just impressive so far, not just in today's contest, but a lot of his recent games as well and on the season as a whole. So a pretty tough left-hander to go up against.
No, and you're exactly right. I feel like that is the goal you want. You want to have these long at-bats where you're fouling off 5 or 6 pitches.
So that one's hit well, but well high. It's just going to drift its way to the left fielder, Dave Banning, for the third out here in the bottom of the fourth. And with that, as we get ready to transition into the top of the fifth, we will take a quick commercial break. Again, you're watching the Toronto Maple Leafs taking on the London Majors, currently a 4-2 lead right here on Majors TV.
Make a bold statement with the Champ Chain, the ultimate award for champions. At 5 to 6 inches wide, this eye-catching metal is built to impress, fully customized with your logo and cut to shape. From the court to the boardroom, this award brings energy and attitude to every celebration. Great for recognizing your MVPs, players of the game, or hardest worker. Level up your recognition game with the Champ Chain. Order yours today at nuthers.com or call 1-800-265-1554. Make a bold statement with the Champ Chain, the ultimate award for champions. At 5 to 6 inches wide, make a bold statement with the Champ Chain, the ultimate award for champions.
To Labatt Memorial Park as we shift in the top of the 5th inning of what's been a pretty fun, exciting game so far between the Toronto Maple Leafs and the London Majors. The Leafs currently up 4-2, out hitting the Majors 8-4. But still a pretty fun showing. Payano back on the mound once again. First pitch to Pena, just a bit up and away for ball 1. Pena 1 for 2 so far, doubled and came around to score back in the second and flew out to right in the third. Next pitch up and in for ball 2. But some impressive stuff, particularly if you're cheering for the Maple Leafs. Some great pitching from Veselinovic, some great offense, a good bit of small ball across the board in today's contest. Next one swung on and missed for strike 1. And again, mentioned it before, but both these teams have kind of different hopes in their minds coming into today. The Maple Leafs really just itching for wins. Currently in 8th, hoping to make a push to avoid last place. Trying to stay in front of the Barnstormers for that spot as the count shifts to 2-2. The Majors, meanwhile, these games are getting incredibly important. A very tough, tight playoff race up at the top. The Majors currently sitting in 1st, but still a few more games to go before the regular season comes to a close. 2-2 pitch. Swung on, grounded, right between the first and second baseman. It finds the grass in right for a base hit. And again, just like that, the Maple Leafs are continuing their streak of just finding the gaps, leaning into some good small ball here at Labatt Memorial Park. Doing a good work of just trying to find ways on, trusting the guys behind him. Some good at-bats as well, really forcing the count up for Payano. That'll bring up second baseman Drew Howard. Payano set. First pitch to him downstairs, ball 1. Looks like we are seeing some action in the Majors bullpen as well. Appears to be Daniel Orfaley starting to warm up. That one's swung on over to right. Stays fair. Zdunek having to hustle over, getting that one in. Pena going to be stopped over at 3rd. So back-to-back singles for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Pena now at 3rd, Howard over at 1st. It's been a good piece of hitting and continuing the streak and the kind of storyline that we've been seeing for the Maple Leafs so far against the Majors.
Yeah, it's just the difficulty for Victor Payano here tonight to get the swing and miss. There's been a lot of contact on most of these pitches. We'll see if he's able to finish this inning. Already at 91 pitches on the night.
Spencer Ross now in the box. Takes the first pitch high for ball 1. Ross 2 for 2, a couple of singles, came around to score back in the second. Again, another dangerous situation here. Runners at the corners. The 1-0 pitch. Downstairs, ball 2.
It's still just a difficulty to find the zone here for Victor Payano. Those were 2 really good pitches. It's just he just hasn't exactly had the command that he's been hoping for here this evening.
2-0 pitch. Again, downstairs, ball 3. I think where Payano has been struggling a little bit to kind of say in this game has been finding that first pitch strike. And obviously, we've mentioned it before, that tight strike zone that we've been seeing today does not cater very well to that. When Payano does really, really well when he's floating right on the edges of the strike zone. And if that's a bit more contained than he's used to, it's going to be tougher for him to get that first pitch strike. That changes the outlook of each at-bat. The 3-0 pitch comes in, catches the plate for strike 1. And then we kind of said it before, it just has a domino effect from there.
Yeah, and it does, and it is definitely kind of a confidence killer for you as a pitcher. If you're known for really clipping the edge of the zone and getting strikes on those kinds of pitches, and then all of a sudden, it's a little bit of a smaller zone maybe, and they're not exactly working the way you want to. It's difficult to adjust to that and try and get things more in the zone. That's when you start to make those kind of mistakes that maybe Payano's been making a little bit today, where he's kind of leaving it over the heart of the plate. So
it's a game of precision when you're pitching. And if you can't be as precise as you are used to doing, then that could cause you to overcorrect. Things kind of start slipping away. Back-to-back pitches fouled off down the first base side.
Yeah, and simply just all these pitches from Payano would usually be looking good. They're usually about a half inch to an inch more outside with that fastball. However, with the smaller zone, it's difficult to get that. That's what gives these hitters the impression to swing on them, or they're able to just get the bat on the ball so quickly because of how much more in the usual zone that Payano uses is.
So full count, payoff pitch coming in, swung on, drilled right up to center. The center fielder Bernie able to get to it, trying to get it in quick, but deep enough for Pena to come in to score, making it a 5-2 ball game. Howard still over at first. So a good sacrifice fly off the bat of Spencer Ross to cash in another run.
Yes, so now officially through the order 3 times now. It is actually nobody throwing in the Majors bullpen anymore. Orfaley has gone and sat down, actually.
So we'll see what happens here. Obviously, less risks when it's just a runner on first, but with how well the Maple Leafs have been hitting, it's been some dangerous situations almost every single inning. Now a 3-run ball game. Payano set. First pitch to connect, swung on and missed.
There's a good one there. You want to start off and at bat good. You want that first pitch strike. You know your go-to pitch is the fastball. Connect really loves seeing the fastball and really giving it a challenge.
Next pitch swung on, soft one just past the glove of a diving Lenahan over towards right for a base hit. The tough streak continues. Again, nothing hit too hard, but just placing the ball incredibly well.
And everything's just been perfectly placed, either right in the hole or just enough away from these infielders to get it going right by their glove. And of course, the bounces from this infield grass is so different that we've seen over the last couple of games. You've really seen a lot of weird hops.
Yeah, you can definitely say that again. Made for some tough plays for those corner infielders in particular. Just one of the personalities of the ballpark a little bit, obviously varying from location to location. But now entering into a tough spot with 2 runners on, 1 in scoring position for the big baddie Yasiel Puig. It looks like we're going to have a quick meeting on the mound here. Payano calling up Diolio.
Payano actually, Roop Chandidat was on his way out. Payano actually told him to stay back.
We'll see what's happening here. Some conversations back and forth. It looks like actually Yasiel Puig and Roop Chandidat are having a conversation just in the direction of the Majors dugout. Skylar Janice taking the opportunity to run out. Looks like he's giving Victor Payano his glasses.
Yeah, well, so that's something I actually didn't even notice coming into this one. Again, Victor Payano, usually with his glasses in most of his starts, didn't have them in his last start last weekend. They kind of broke before first pitch and was unable to use them. Now, that was a really good start for him. He tried to do the same thing today. Again, just hasn't exactly been working. So Skylar Janice comes out with the pair.
We'll try and get you details if we can on what that conversation entailed between Roop Chandidat and Yasiel Puig. A lot of motions there between the two and what appeared to be a pretty deep conversation. But in any case, Puig now in the box, runner in scoring position, 2 men on. First pitch to him downstairs.
Again, that is a great location for his curveball. You really want to get it down in the zone. You don't want to give Puig anything that he can challenge, especially on that one. Again, this is just the good spin that Payano really gets on it. Puig is really good at seeing the ball out of the hands from these pitchers. He was in the MLB for 9 years. It's just kind of what you pick up from playing at such an elite level.
As that pitch is in there for a strike, I wonder if the Majors are worried about potential sign stealing over at second base. From what we're seeing from this angle from center field, if you're over on second, I don't know if you caught it in that last shot, but you almost get a bit of a good angle of Payano's glove. You can kind of see it there. You can see the ball in the hand. And with the positioning of Howard over at second, I wonder if that's what they're concerned about here. As that pitch is swung on, grounded. Dreyers makes the play over at third. The long throw towards first. A good scoop by Lenahan to get the double play. And just like that, the Majors get out of another dicey situation.
Yeah, that's perfect there from the Majors, able to get the double play there. As again, what you want from Payano in those kind of situations with runners on, you want to get the ball down on the ground, let your defense work around you, and a perfect example right there, getting the ground ball over the Dreyers at third.
So an interesting ball game back and forth here so far. And it looks like, from what we're seeing in the dugout, the hugs, the handshakes, it appears that Victor Payano is going to be finished tonight. So likely to be seeing a pitching change once we enter into the 6th, but went into the dugout, got some hugs, got some handshakes, so it appears that his night is over.
And as difficult as it was for Victor Payano, still a very strong performance, able to get through 5 innings and just keep your team in it. As you're only down by 3, again, you still have so much time left in this game. Veselinovic will stay in this ball game for his 5th inning of work. He has had a very strong day, only 2 runs on 4 hits for him.
And he's been sharp. At this point, you let him go as long as he can. His pitch count's been pretty good. He's really limited this Majors offense across the board. Apart from that one big loud solo shot from Starling Joseph, there hasn't been much in the way of hard contact either, so just a really impressive showing from him here. From the looks of it, we will be getting a pitching change next inning. As of now, it looks like Daniel Orfeli will be coming into the ball game. But before we get there, the Majors will have one more crack at the offense here in the bottom of the 5th. We're guaranteed to see David Dreyers before things shift to the top of the order. Michael Escato and Trent Lenahan.
Yeah, this is a big inning for the Majors. You want to try and at least get one, really stay within 2 runs of the Maple Leafs. You know you can really spark a big inning at any point that you want, which is how good this offense is. This is the great time to do it. You kind of lost momentum a little bit. You want to try and get that back. It starts out here with David Dreyers, as long as you can get him on base here. Kind of the same way as the bottom of the third inning.
As that one swung on, fouled back. And Dreyers walked his way on base back in the third, came around to score as well. Swung on and missed for strike 2. But the Maple Leafs just doing an impeccable job across the board. Some great pitching, some great offense as the 0-2 pitch comes in. Swung on and missed. Strike 3 called. Veselinovic's third strikeout of the contest so far. Things will now shift back to the top of the order. Michael Escato coming into the box.
And again, Veselinovic has just been so strong in this one. Every pitch has just been kind of working for him. He's really been able to rely on his defense a lot to make plays. If you're able to do that, you know you can have a successful day on the mound.
So that pitch is in there for a strike. Next pitch just misses the zone for ball 1, evening things up.
So Daniel Orfali is back up and moving around in the London bullpen. As you said, it does look like he will be in line to start the 6th inning.
Someone swung on, popped up. First baseman Pena able to get underneath it for the second out here in the bottom of the 5th.
Again, it's just been so difficult for these majors to really square up a baseball. There's so much spin on these off-speed and breaking balls from Veselinovic that it's so difficult to really find the point of where it's going to break and where it's going to land in the zone. It's almost a guessing game for these hitters in those kinds of situations. So very difficult here.
Next pitch to Trent Lenahan, who's now in the box. Just off the plate for ball 1. But been a pretty fun one so far between these two teams. The 1-0 pitch swung on, drilled over towards shallow center field. The center fielder Dutton able to get underneath it. So 3 up, 3 down. The great effort from Veselinovic is continuing. And with that, as we continue to push on, we get ready to enter into the top of the 6th here. The middle inning's really starting to go by in a flash. Maple Leafs up 5-2 in this one. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back in just a few moments. Again, you're watching the Toronto Maple Leafs taking on the London Majors right here on Majors TV.
Make a bold statement with the Champ Chain, the ultimate award for champions. At 5 to 6 inches wide, this eye-catching metal is built to impress, fully customized with your logo and cut to shape. From the court to the boardroom, this award brings energy and attitude to every celebration. Great for recognizing your MVPs, players of the game, or hardest worker. Level up your recognition game with the Champ Chain. Order yours today at nuthers.com or call 1-800-265-1554.
Right at the corner of Warncliffe and Emery, Ellie's Pizzeria is your neighborhood spot for real, handcrafted pizza, using locally sourced flour for their dough and fresh ingredients from local farms for incredible flavor in every bite. Stop in before 3 p.m. for a slice and a pop for just $5, or 2 for $9. Ellie's Pizzeria, made local, made right. Right at the corner of Warncliffe and Emery, Ellie's Pizzeria is your neighborhood spot for real, handcrafted pizza.
Right back here, Labatt Memorial Ballpark, we will introduce you to Daniel Orfali here for the 6th inning. The right-hander will take on the 3, 4, and 5 hitters, J.J. Dutton, Chris Tavares, and Dennis Day Banning here in the inning. But before we get you started, we like to take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard here. It's the other two games of the night. The Guelph Royals currently having the 6-2 lead over the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers over in Ferdy Jenkins Field. They're in the top of the fourth at the moment, and the important game that we want to keep our eye on is the Welland Jackfish in Bernie Arbor to face off the Hamilton Cardinals. The Cardinals currently in the top of the seventh, a 4-1 lead over the Welland Jackfish as that game is slowly coming to an end. The Welland Jackfish have been stuck at 2 hits since the top of the second inning. They have yet to have a hit against Owen Boone, who has just been dealing today. 6 innings of only 1-run ball against him. As we get underway with J.J. Dutton to lead off the inning. Daniel Orfali has been in 5 different appearances here for the majors so far in his short stint with the team. A 3.6 ERA in his 10 innings. Still trying to get him qualified for September baseball, as the first 2 pitches will go away from Dutton. It's 2-0 as the fastball from Orfali's in there for a strike.
Orfali looking to improve a couple off his past recent games. Gave up a couple of runs against the Maple Leafs back on August 8th. That was his last appearance.
As that one's a big swing and a miss from J.J. Dutton, and the count will even up at 2-2 now.
And gave up a run to the Red Sox, a run to the Panthers. Scoreless in his first 2 appearances, but only got his first crack at it back on July 25th. So yeah, like you mentioned, he's trying to get his innings, his appearances up as we push towards playoff season here in the CBL.
As Dutton will slice this one foul. And yeah, Daniel Orfali has only been with the team for 3 weeks. So has Jordan Lewis. They have been almost key contributors to this lineup. And when it comes to the bullpen depth and the extra speed over there in left field from Jordan Lewis, it's been very important for this Roop Chanderdat-led squad, as Orfali will look in for the 2-2. This one is slicing foul again. Lenahan over towards the wall. He won't get it. They'll go about 2 rows in to the stands. Dutton so far is 2 for 3 today. Struck out back in the first. 1 for 2 today. Struck out back in the first, a walk in the second, and a single, and later coming out to score back in the fourth. Making a good battle out of this one against Orfali. The 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball will get him swinging. And the first batter Orfali sees will be a strikeout, and quickly 1 away here in the top half of the 6th.
Great effort there. Great pitch mix. Trying to get the swing and miss stuff down and out of the zone. Obviously a fresh look going from the fast-throwing, hard-throwing lefty in Payano to the righty specialist in Orfali. You're going to face some different pitches, and after running through the order almost 4 times against Victor Payano, it's first real change that they're seeing, and I think it may pay off in the majors' favor.
Yeah, you really go from power to precision with Orfali. This one is a first pitch fouled back from Kritz Tavares, who's 1 for 2 today. Struck out back in the first, a double in the fourth. That was an RBI double to score J.J. Dutton, as he has also been hit by a pitch back in the second. That was that little scuffle between Tavares and Payano. Orfali with the 0-1, a foul back yet again, and now we go no balls and 2 strikes.
Our first look at Tavares tonight, swinging from the opposite side of the plate, a switch hitter. Been seeing more and more of those year to year to year across what was the Intercounty Baseball League, now the Canadian Baseball League.
And as the talent grows, we'll see a little bit more of everything, as this one is pulled foul towards the Leafs dugout. So still 0-2. It's been 3 straight foul balls from Fritz Tavares here against Daniel Orfali.
Good opportunity here. You want this out. Day Banning on deck, who's 0 for 3 so far with a couple of strikeouts.
So that one went just up and away from Orfali. It'll pull the count to 1-2. As you said, it is Dennis Day Banning on deck here for the Leafs. 2 strikeouts and a flat on his scorecard today. That one is a just outside from Morfaley. This count will leave it up at 2-2, and what a battle this is turning out to be for Chris Tavares.
I like what we're seeing from Morfaley. He's really moving those pitches around, trying to get the swing and miss, all benefiting from getting that first pitch strike, able to kind of move things around, play with the strike zone a little bit after that.
Another one in the dirt that is ball 3. Tavares thought that was ball 4, started taking his gear off.
I think Tavares thought that might have hit him. I think that's why we're seeing the discrepancy here so far, because it was a bit of an inside pitch. So again, the tension's kind of continuing here in this one. Some disagreements back and forth. Some problems with the strike zone, some problems with the calls on the field. And then tensions as well between these two teams.
Grounder over the second base. Cristian Inoa with the routine play. The little flip to Lenahan over at first. And there are 2 away after a little confusion there before that pitch. So 2 away in the inning now. It brings up Dennis Day Banning, as I said, 0 for 3 so far. As Day Banning will step in, trying to get his first hit of the ball game. First pitch from Morfaley is in there at the bottom corner to make this 0-1. So Morfaley, another first pitch strike. That one will get Day Banning on that back arm. Is his right arm, or might have actually hit the knob of the bat of Dennis Day Banning. It will now go to no balls and 2 strikes here. As now Morfaley in the driver's seat in this one. The 0-2 to Day Banning is just high. The count will go to 1 ball and 2 strikes now. Nobody warming up in either bullpen here, as Morfaley will try and get out of this inning cleanly. Ahead in the count 1-2. The stretch and the delivery that is down and in, and the count will even up at 2-2 now.
For those paying attention across the board here in the league, some excitement going on in that Guelph Royals Chatham Kent Barnstormers game. Couple players thrown out, including Yushin Oda and Mizuki Akatsuka. Some disagreements when it comes to the decisions behind the plate framing as well. As of now, those teams in the top of the 4th, Royals up 6-2.
So it's actually 7-2. What my computer is saying is 7-2.
Oh, you are right. I have 2. Oh, it just updated on my screen. There we go.
As that one's up and away, and Day Banning will get on with a 2-out walk to extend the inning for Matt Brandt now. Oh. Or maybe not.
The disagreements continuing here.
What we thought was 3-2 was actually the 2-2 pitch. So now we'll go again, this time at 3-2. Morfaley stretched in the windup is hit into left center and falling fast. This will get down. And instead of a walk was what Day Banning thought he had, it's actually a 2-out single now to extend the inning. Now Matt Brandt will come up here with 2 away.
That's a trade-off you'll take if you're Dennis Day Banning. Obviously, a walk is great. It's the same result in the end, but a nice little hit is a bit more of a confidence booster to the rest of the lineup, especially in what's been a really good small ball performance, and shows that even with the pitching change, they are human. You are able to get them to them. You are able to keep the momentum you had rolling forward. So that's going to be a big push for them as they're facing against Morfaley.
12 hits already on the night for the Leafs as we're here in the 6th inning. Out hitting the London Majors 12-4 here in a 5-2 ball game. That first pitch to Matt Brandt was a fastball from Morfaley in there for strike 1. And now the 0-1 pitch is just up and in. And the count will be evened up at 1-1 now. It's Dave Banning over on first with 2 away now. So Orfaley still trying to get out of this inning. 1-1. Bates swing and a miss from Brandt. And Orfaley ahead in the count again. It's 1-2.
Big hack there, and I do like the kind of compact swing that we're seeing from Matt Brandt. Able to have him try and turn on a pitch he likes, but gives him a lot more time in the box to kind of decide which ones he wants to get a good swing at.
This is a little roll over to second base. And Inoa the flip to Lenahan. And that will end the top half of the 6th. Leafs were able to get 1 on, however, will not do anything with the Dave Banning 2-out single. Will head to the bottom half of the 6th inning. Now it's the heart of the order. It's Cristian Inoa, Eduardo Diolio, and Tucker Zaduna to come up as Justin. The Majors need a big spark in this inning before we get into the final third of this ball game. You really need to really get something going for your offense.
Yeah, you can definitely say that again. It's been a bit of a dry spell so far for the Majors. Obviously, they've gotten a few hits. The big loud crack of the bat from Starling Joseph comes to mind earlier on, but we'll see how things change and how things improve. But speaking of stuff to look forward to and things to push for, we'll send things down to the third man in our crew, Evan Fredrickson, down on field level with a good piece of information. Evan, what do you got for us?
Well, gentlemen, thank you very much. The Majors, after this game here this evening, will have 7 games remaining on their schedule, 4 against playoff teams, 3 against non-playoff teams. They have a huge weekend this upcoming weekend against Barrie on Saturday, and then Hamilton on Sunday. 2 games that could have massive playoff implications for the number 1 seed and how the Majors will finish in the standings. Gentlemen.
Thank you, Evan. And again, a big part of the schedule here for the Majors, as you said, down there on field level. 4 games after this against playoff teams, 3 of them against non-playoff teams. This one was the 4th, as we had 8 games left to go in the season coming into tonight, and this one has just been something you didn't exactly expect from this Majors lineup. Kind of a slower paced game from the offense, as Toronto has been in the driver's seat since the very beginning. Cristian Inoa will be here to lead us off in the bottom half of the 6th. As I said, it will go Inoa, Diolio, and then Zadunic here, as Nick Veselinovic will stay in this ballgame for his 6th inning of work. He has really been on a roll here, has not given up a hit since the 5th inning. Since the 2nd inning now, as it was the... Oh, no, you actually corrected me. It is the 3rd inning. There was the Cristian Inoa single back in the 3rd. That was the final hit Veselinovic has given up so far, is quickly ahead 0-2 here to Cristian Inoa.
You know, he's been absolutely sharp. We were a bit concerned going in at his walk rate, 4.18 walks per 9. We were mentioning that if that was going to be a factor, obviously the strikeout numbers are impeccable for him. A little bit reduced today so far in this contest, only 3 so far in the ball game, but he's been really good at just pounding the strike zone and making the most of this reduced strike zone that we've been seeing, a tighter one comparatively to other games, and he has just been making the most of it, not getting a lot of hard contact, getting a lot of pop-ups in particular from this Majors offense, everyone kind of getting underneath it a little bit, and it's really been playing to their favor. Anything that you can do to keep the Majors off the board with how good their offense is, and you know you're doing something right on the mound.
Hasn't given up a walk yet. The hit by pitch is the only free base he's given up. This is hit high into center, however. Over there to make the play is J.J. Dutton, and that's the first out of this inning. As again, Veselinovic just still on a huge roll. In this one, Eduardo Diolio will come up now. 0 for 2 in this one.
And again, just as soon as I had pretty much mentioned it, another fly out, another pop-up that we are seeing. Nothing too crazy. Not a whole lot of distance on a lot of these swings coming from the Majors. A lot of routine plays. These outfielders in particular not having to move around a whole lot.
It's the first pitch from Veselinovic into Diolio. Will go up and away, make it ball 1. As again, we continue to look at the scores in the other games here in the CBL tonight. Now 8-2 in favor of the Guelph Royals. This is down the line and fair. It'll go all the way to the corner. Diolio will round first. He's on his way to second. Still no throw in yet, as the throw will come in now. Diolio with a stand-up double and a big spark here in the inning as a man in scoring position already here with one away.
That was a wicked hot shot down the third base line. We saw something similar back in Wednesday's game against the Barnstormers. He's just got some incredible pull side power, getting it right down the line. And if you're ever able to get it past the third baseman, you're likely going to get a double or more in some cases, depending on how they have you positioned. Obviously, with how much Diolio's been pulling the ball, they kind of shifted over in that direction. But great piece of hitting and a big spark, like you mentioned, that the Majors need at this point in the game.
Yeah, almost a perfect piece of hitting there from Diolio, able to get it perfectly down that third base line and almost right exactly in the corner as Dr. Zdunek up now as he fouled off the first pitch from Veselinovic to go down 0-1. Now Veselinovic ready in the stretch, finds his pitch. The windup and delivery is fouled off of Zdunek's leg, and he will have to take a quick walk around.
Tough one. Never a good spot to get. Obviously, you don't want to get hit by any pitch, especially a foul off. But 9 times out of 10 in those situations, if you foul it down, you're going to get it off your ankle, off your foot, and it's a very dangerous spot. So it's never very comfortable. But it looks like Zdunek is all right in the box. Just took a second to kind of walk it off, collect himself before coming back in.
Always one of the most painful plays is a foul ball off the shin or the foot. Now Veselinovic ready for the 0-2 pitch here to Zdunek. That is up and away. And the Cat will move up to 1-2 now.
So we've been focusing obviously a whole lot in some Canadian Baseball League action. For those paying attention to some Major League Baseball, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. was taken out of the game today with an apparent injury following a collision at third base. So never a fun situation there.
As Zdunek fouled that one off. A little bit of action in the Toronto bullpen. Reynaldo De Paula is up again and moving around. He was moving around back in the fourth, taking a couple of long toss throws in the bullpen. Zdunek drives this one deep to right center. Going back to the wall is Puig. He can't make the grab. This will get down. Diolio rounding third. There will be no play. The play as the throw is offline. Diolio comes in the score. It's an RBI double for Tucker Zdunek. And the lead is cut down to 2. It's now 5-3.
Everyone's hearts kind of dropped there for a quick second, wondering if Puig was able to come up with the play cleanly. But as soon as everyone started realizing that it got by him, got to the wall, everyone was off their feet. And impeccable piece of hitting, great piece of action, and the momentum starting to carry forward once again for the London Majors.
Yeah, it almost looked like Puig had gotten all the way over there, and Mechie made the grab. He's still sitting down over there in right center field as a quick visit on the mound. As Puig is actually slow to get up.
It does appear that Yasiel Puig might be hurt. He's still on his knees at the warning track over in right center. He's now back on his feet, but slow to move around. We are seeing a member of, appears to be the Majors training staff, making their way over, hustling through the infield right now over to him. He's slow to move around.
It was very slow to get up, almost limping now over there in right field.
It definitely, as of now, looks like it might have something to do with his right leg. Might be how he landed on the play. Obviously stretched out, got a little bit of air trying to make that play. But standing up, kind of kicking the ground right now over in right center. Just trying to make sure if he's all right and whether he'll stay in this ball game.
Yeah, it was a little bit of an awkward dive for him, able to try to go over to his right. It does look like he is all good to stay in this ball game. The mound visit has also concluded, so it looked like Veselinovic will still stay in this ball game. Reynaldo De Paula still up and moving around in the Toronto bullpen. But a big hit there from Tucker Zdunek to bring a run in, as Starling Joseph will come into this ball game. Another runner in scoring position here for the Majors.
Big opportunity here, and yeah, he's hit the long ball already. An absolute no-doubter back in the second to get the Majors on the board.
Majors now 2 for 4 with runners in scoring position after the Zadunik double. It'll bring up Starling Joseph. He's 1 for 2 today. The long homer back in the second, the ground out to third in the fourth inning, as he'll look at a first pitch changeup from Veselinovic in there for strike one.
A lot of open space over in left center right now with how far over Dutton is positioned. In dead center, a little bit to the right.
Another breaking ball in there from Veselinovic, and count will go to 1-1 now to Joseph.
Obviously a big opportunity. Joseph representing the tying run if he can find a way on or find a way to get home in what's currently a 5-3 contest.
Pitch number 90 from Veselinovic is up above the zone. He'll now go to 2 balls and a strike as we take a look at the Majors bullpen. That appears to be Cade Douglas, the right-hander, moving up. Look at the Hamilton score. It's now 5-1 Cardinals ahead of the Jackfish in the top of the 8th. The 2-1 from Veselinovic is down in the dirt, and Joseph's now ahead in this count. It's 3-1 as the ball flowers will reappear.
Obviously first base open and just 1 out. They could think about kind of pitching around Joseph a little bit, but given his numbers on the season and the strikeout potential, I wouldn't be shocked if Veselinovic really just tries to go after him here.
Off speed from Veselinovic is able to get Joseph to chase on the hitter's count. The count will go full now.
Wouldn't be shocked to see him try and go to a similar spot. Been really productive on the lower side of the plate to Joseph, trying to get that swing and miss, whether that be trying to pump a fastball downstairs or getting something breaking to drift out of the zone.
Down in the zone, as you said, that'll be ball 4. Zadunik will stay over at second as that ball got away from Brandt slightly. It'll be a 1-out walk to put runners on first and second here as Jarrett Burney will come up to the dish.
So big opportunity for Burney. Some good numbers on the season, a .322 average, and 23 RBIs. It looks like we are going to have a meeting on the mound. We are seeing some increased warm-ups over in the Maple Leafs dugout as well. I believe that's Reynaldo De Paula starting to warm up over there, and it looks like he might be coming into the game.
So Veselinovic's day is done. It will bring in the right-hander, Reynaldo De Paula, as we will take a little bit of a break as he will warm up. We'll come back to see Jarrett Burney and potentially Jordan Lewis here in the inning. You're watching the Leafs First Majors right here on Majors TV. We'll be right back after this.
Right at the corner of Warncliffe and Emery, Ellie's Pizzeria is your neighborhood spot for real, handcrafted pizza, using locally sourced flour for their dough and fresh ingredients from local farms for incredible flavor in every bite. Stop in before 3 p.m. for a slice and a pop for just $5, or 2 for $9. Ellie's Pizzeria, made local, made right.
Right back here at Labatt Memorial Ballpark, it is Reynaldo De Paula in to come in relief for Nick Veselinovic, who, what a day he had, giving up 3 in just 5 1/3 innings. He's responsible for Zadunik, who's over on second, and Joseph, who's over on first. The hard throwing right-hander, will face Jarrett Burney and Jordan Lewis here in the inning. Going over DePaula's numbers a little bit. In 26 in the third innings, that goes across 17 games, a 4.1 ERA for him. As his last appearance came a week ago against Brantford, he went scoreless through an inning there, as the Majors have had a little trouble with him in their appearances against him. He's pitched 3 2/3 innings against the Majors, has yet to even give up a hit in those innings pitched. It's 0-1 now to Jared Burney. DePaula ready for the pitch. Here it comes. That's outside. That count evens up at 1-1.
So Veselinovic will end his day having pitched 5 1/3 innings, 6 hits given up, 3 runs, all earned, a walk, and 3 strikeouts as well. And what was a pretty solid effort across the board, limiting this Majors offense.
It carried momentum all the way through his start. They've had the lead almost the entire time he was in this ball game. Now Burney a chance to maybe change that with a big moment here, as he's ahead in the count now, 2-1. DePaula ready into the stretch and the pitch. Down in there for a strike, and it's 2-2.
Some groans from the crowd here at Labatt Memorial Park. Not too happy with that call.
So the count goes to 2-2 after the fastball gets in there low and away to Jared Burney. Now having to fight to stay in this one. DePaula ready. He will check back on Zadunik. Nobody was covering the bag as Zadunik comes back quickly.
DePaula's had a great stretch as of late. Apart from the 1 run that he gave up to the Cardinals back on August 5th, he hasn't given up any earned runs.
That ball will get away. Zadunik and Joseph both move up 90 feet as the count will run full here to Burney. Now 2 in scoring position. And the Majors have a lot of momentum now.
So hasn't given up a run of his own, apart from that 1 to Hamilton, since July 8th. That was where he gave up 3 earned runs to the Hamilton Cardinals, off 2 hits and a couple walks. Since then, he's been impeccable.
The 3-2 is fouled off by Burney, starting to make this a real battle. As you said, DePaula has been so strong in the last stretch of games he's been a part of. Now looking for a big second out here in the inning against Jared Burney. DePaula finds his sign. And here comes the 3-2. That's outside and ball 4. So Burney will draw the walk. It's now the bases loaded for Jordan Lewis.
So 2 doubles and back-to-back walks. This Majors offense is starting to click a little bit here as we push into the later innings. Bases now juiced for Jordan Lewis coming in.
Lewis so far 0 for 2 on the day. It's the bases loaded, 1 away. A lot of speed here at home plate, so a ground ball might not guarantee a double play to end the inning. DePaula set. The first pitch is in there for a strike. It's 0-1 to Lewis.
Get ready for Lewis to try and lift something up here, even something deep to the outfield. Will likely score a run, potentially let Joseph advance to third on the play.
He went around, and it's 0-2.
It's a great pitch there from DePaula, really upping the velocity on that one.
Fastball at such a high velocity, so much different than when Veselinovic was in. It's more of a sidearm kind of delivery here from DePaula. Ready in the 0-2 is popped up. Pena will make the play over at first. And now there's 2 away.
Great pitch, bit of a tough swing there, just a little bit late on it. Popped it up, didn't end up getting any solid contact, and just resulted in that pop-up over to first. Not the result you wanted. Even a ground ball could have had the potential to at least cash in a run.
So possibly now the biggest moment here in this one tonight. It's David Dreyers with the bases loaded and 2 away. He finally has his righty-lefty matchup. In this one, DePaula finds his sign. First pitch is up and in. Dreyers had to move the hands up to get out of the way of that one.
So big opportunity here late in the game. Tying run over at second, the go-ahead run now at first. Majors still being out-hit 12-6 against the Maple Leafs, but really hoping to cash in on a big opportunity here.
Now 2 for 5 with runners in scoring position. The 1-0 is outside, and Dreyers is in a hitter's count now.
DePaula looks like he's working very horizontally against Dreyers in the batter's box. We saw that kind of fastball well inside and then countered with one outside off the plate. We'll see which direction he ends up going here. Potentially a slider starting away, working in.
2-0, flared. It will be caught over there at second base by Drew Howard. And the bases loaded jam will be taken away from Reynaldo DePaula. The Majors had the bases loaded, but were unable to do anything about it. We will head to the 7th inning now. It's still a 5-3 lead for the Maple Leafs. You're watching Toronto versus London right here on Majors TV. We're going to take a quick break and be right back.
Right at the corner of Warncliffe and Emery, Ellie's Pizzeria is your neighborhood spot for real, handcrafted pizza. Using locally sourced flour for their dough and fresh ingredients from local farms for incredible flavor in every bite. Stop in before 3 p.m. for a slice and a pop for just $5 or 2 for $9. Ellie's Pizzeria, made local, made right.
Let me into my zone. Please don't let me into my zone. 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 Please don't let me in. Yeah. Can't answer my phone now. Just leave it there at that tone. Ballin' can't beat me up 'cause I'm back in my zone now. 'Cause I'm back in my zone now.
We got this, united, step it up, keep on thriving, we trying, keep shining, living in a world where we colliding.
When we're together, amazing things happen. Feel what it means to be greater together.
Shine on.
To be the best, you've got to bring performance from.
And we're back here at Labatt Memorial Park. Big opportunity missed by the Majors there. A bases loaded situation, but not able to cash in, so it'll still remain a 5-3 ball game. As we shift things back over to the Maple Leafs offense here in the top of the 7th. Middle innings really kind of flew by compared to the first few to get the game going.
Yeah, these innings have really flown by, as you said, here already in the 7th. It's the 7, 8, 9 hitters here for Toronto, as O'Faley will begin his second inning of work.
O'Faley pretty efficient in that last inning. Gave up just the single. But got a couple ground balls, struck out a batter, and hoping to continue it here. 1-0 pitch. Swung on, popped up to shallow left field. Shortstop Escato ranging back to make the play for the first out.
Good start there for O'Faley. Only gave up the one hit back in the 6th. It was a Dennis Day Banning single, but was able to quickly come back and finish the inning. Now retiring 4 of the 5 hitters he's seen.
He's been sharp, and he's been a really, really good contrast, like we mentioned a bit earlier, from what we saw in Victor Payano. A bit of a different pitch mix, a different angle, different kind of repertoire that we're seeing, and he's just really moving the strike zone around, which I think is keeping these Maple Leafs batters on their toes. Bit of an example of it there. First pitch to Drew Howard up and in for ball 1.
Yeah, keep him on their toes literally on that one. A nice
I guess in that case, it was keeping the batters on their heels. I think having to move back a little bit off that pitch. 1-0. Swung on, grounded, just past the glove of the shortstop, or the third baseman, Dreyers. Into left field for a base hit. Nice sharply hit single. And once again, the Maple Leafs have a runner on the base paths. So 2 runners on. That first play by Pena was actually dropped in the outfield, so he's over at second. Howard over at first. So once again, the Maple Leafs have a runner in scoring position, 2 men on, threatening once again. Have had men on in every single inning. Squares up to bunt. Lenahan reaches up for it, makes the throw, but not able to come up with it cleanly. The ball still in play, drifting towards the right field grass, and that'll cash in a run. Pena comes in to score. Howard able to go all the way to third on the play. On a pretty well-positioned, well-located bunt single. Great spot to force Lenahan to come forward off the base paths, forcing Inoa to second. And then that many people in the way, it's a bit of an awkward attempt there, as we're going to have a meeting on the mound, a pitching change. Potentially on deck here as Cade Douglas was warming up in the Majors bullpen.
So the last play will actually be recorded as an error. It will be an E3, so already 2 errors in this inning. The E6 off the dropped pop-up by Escato. The error on the throw from Trent Lenahan. As you said, Cade Douglas will come into this ballgame.
And so with that, as we get ready for the pitching change, we will take a quick commercial break. Again, you're watching the Toronto Maple Leafs here in town against the London Majors, up 6-3. We'll be back in just a few moments, right here on Majors TV.
To be the best, you've got to ring performance from every second. The game is getting faster every season. So Rawlings made the time machine to help you keep up. Introducing the all-new Velo ACP. It's light, it's balanced, so you can pick your pitch and drive the ball with maximum exit velocity. The game's gotten faster. Your bat has too.
So right off the bat, what's your least favorite food? Oh, you brought fish. Okay, I get that. What are some of your go-to foods that you love? Oh, more props. Great, wicked. Fruits and vegetables. Great pick. You know, incredibly important. I'm sure a lot of the London Majors will agree with you. I'm gonna have to have you clean that up, though. You know, I'm not here to be a janitor.
And we're back here at Labatt Memorial Park. Another risky situation for the London Majors. Runners on the corners. Drew Howard over at third. Spencer Ross at first. And turn things back over to the top of the order. Marcus Connect in the batter's box. 1 for 3 so far. First pitch to him, swung on and missed.
So Cade Douglas is now in the ball game. The Trinidad, Colorado native will take the hill. He's pitched in 16 different games for a total of 15 2/3 innings, a 7.7 5.47 ERA, sorry. That's 13 runs in those 15 2/3 innings.
That one's a bit inside. Some good velocity right there from Douglas. We'll see if that continues and caters into some of his breaking stuff as well, particularly to these right-handed batters. Hoping to shut things down. Still no outs in the inning in a 6-3 ball game. 1-1. Swung on and missed, strike 2.
Good breaking ball there from Douglas. He's able to use that slider so effectively in his appearances. It's the fastball slider is really his go-to, and then almost a splitter is what it is what his third pitch in his repertoire is. All of them are so good. It's just the ERA is so kind of inflated almost when you look at it.
Douglas set on the mound. The 1-2. Swung on, popped up, drifting back, foul.
I think we found it.
One of those ones that ricochet off our ceiling here. Kind of jump scares us up in the booth a little bit. So count 1-2. Majors just hoping to shut things down. This inning starting to get away from them. Bit of a messy play here in the top of the 7th. The 1-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3. That's the way to come into the ball game if you're Cade Douglas. First strikeout and first out here in the inning.
As again, there's that splitter in there from Douglas. He's able to use it so effectively on the inside part of the plate against these right-handed hitters. It almost looks like a fastball coming in the bottom part of the zone and just dies right at about the edge of the dirt almost.
It's an impressive mix and definitely contrasts with some of the other Majors pitchers, especially in the bullpen. I love the dynamic bullpen this Majors squad has. Yasiel Puig in the box. First pitch swung on, hit well and hit hard. Deep towards left center. It's drifting back, and it is gone. A 3-run shot, a no-doubter over into the tree line. Starting to blow this game open. Now a 9-3 lead for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Well, Yasiel Puig really put a drive into that one. That's home run number 17 on the year for him, and it extends his lead in homers. And how about a 4-run inning here for the Toronto Maple Leafs to really blow this game open?
You can only play with fire for so long before you get burned. And what started as a bit of a messy inning for the Majors came back to bite them. It's J.J. Dutton now in the box. Cade Douglas just hoping to shut things down. Majority of those runs will be charged to Orfaley. 1-0 pitch, swung on, grounded to the shortstop. Escato picks it up, the throw to first to get the second out.
So a good way to come back after the Puig homer. Getting the out right away. It was just Puig's second home run on the road this season. 15 of his 17 have come at Christie Pitts over in Toronto. The other one coming in Kitchener, Jack House Park, which is more of a hitter-friendly ballpark. This is more of a pitcher-friendly park, is Labatt, and able to really show off the power on that one.
First pitch to Crix Taveras, out of the zone, ball 1. And yeah, I usually like to say that Labatt Memorial Park is really good at giving some context. It is one of the deeper ballparks across the CBL, especially when you compare it to Christie Pitts and Jack Couch Park. The 1-0 pitch, swung on, fouled back. For those who don't know, about 402 to dead center, 330 to the corners, so it's deeper. And if you're able to not only drill a home run, but get one well into the tree line, in some cases over the trees in left center and left, it just shows how much power you've got, and it really contextualizes other home runs across this league, as that one's fouled back. We've been talking about it pretty much since the start of just how good this Toronto Maple Leafs offense can be when they're all in sync from batter to batter to batter. And they've done an impeccable job when it came to the small ball throughout this game. But of course, Yasiel Puig wanted to get some pop in there. Speaking of which, that one's popped up. Shortstop Escato drifting back, makes the play for the third out. But not until after a good amount of damage has been done. 4 runs scored in the inning, capped off by a loud shot off the bat of Yasiel Puig.
Yeah, that was just almost the same as the Joseph one. It's right off the end of the bat, right off the crack of the bat. Sorry. You just knew it was gone. And correction to myself, that's actually his third on the road. So he's hit one in Guelph, he's hit one in Kitchener, and now hits one here at Labatt Park. By far the furthest of the 3 on the road, as he knew it was gone right out of the batter's box. So now you come into this inning, you have 9 outs to go if you're the Majors, down by 6. I've been saying it most of the day, you still have some game to be played to come back. Not exactly anymore. This is kind of the dire moment that you need if you're London. You really need something going on in this inning. If you don't and you start to lose the confidence a little bit, you're really going to fall out of this ballgame.
Yasiel Puig, do you think the guy can hit or what?
I'm happy I got to see it, but I've been watching the guy since he came into the MLB, and it's been incredible to see how he's been able to work and just kind of the skill he brings. But yeah, no, you're right.
Well, and we were nervous at one point because he almost had that apparent injury over in right, making a diving defensive play that he wasn't able to come up with. But we were talking a bit between innings of how it was his right leg. That's a risky one because that's where you get a lot of your pop, your power from. So to be able to then come in an inning or two later and drill one that deep to left center, he's all good over there. He knows his stuff, and impeccable ball player. Much like a lot of the remaining roster for the Toronto Maple Leafs, even though the standings may not reflect it. A whole lot of stuff and a lot of good points as we get towards the tail end of this regular season.
Yeah, also between the top and bottom of the 7th inning, we also saw him a little bit stretching it a little bit. So maybe there was a little bit of discomfort there, however, not anymore. And it seemed like it really didn't matter whether the injury or not. It's just so much speed. It's so much strength in the more upper body of Puig that he doesn't even have to use his legs on swings like that to hit it out.
So the Majors have quite a lot of ground to cover, but they've got the makeup, the lineup to try and get it done as we turn things over to the top of the lineup. Michael Escato in the box, 1 for 3 so far in the ball game. Single back in the first, and a couple pop-ups since then. So that one's downstairs for ball 1, evening things up at 1-1. Still plenty of ball left to play here in the bottom of the 7th. 1-1 pitch, swung on, fouled back. The one bright spot that the Majors can try to draw on what's been a very, very busy night of ball across the Canadian Baseball League is that game over in Hamilton. As that one's hit well and hit deep over towards left center. It's going back past the warning track and into the trees. What a way to come back. Michael Escato launches that one to deep left. Trying to cut down on this lead. A solo shot to make it a 9-4 ball game. And that is what can impress me the most sometimes about this Majors lineup is their tenacity, their mindset to try and come back in some of these tough situations. Obviously, a lot of ground to cover, like we mentioned. But to come back and really drive it home with a big, deep launch like that is something that can spark this offense to get going. As Trent Lenahan comes into the box. And that one's hit deep over towards right center. It's going back And just like that, it's off the wall, stays in play. Lenahan rounding second on his way towards third. Diving play, and he's safe. Look at the Majors trying to bring some life to this ball game. Spark after spark, a home run and a nice deep triple. Puts another run just 90 feet away from scoring. That's the way to do it if you're the Majors. And that is why those two are 1-2 in this lineup. But followed right along with another loud bat. Cristian Inoa now in the box. Impeccable stuff and just attacking these pitches as well from from DePaula, excuse me. I love the aggression. It's something that you've got to do when you are down by such a margin this late in the game. Got to figure out any way to get on base and any way to start driving in runs. Inoa, 1 for 3 on the day so far. 1 RBI as that one's grounded foul down the third base line. He's batting .355 on the season. Leading the Majors in the home run column this season as well, so plenty of pop in the bat. The 0-2 pitch. Swung on, foul back. Looked like he just wanted to get a piece of it to stay alive. Still none out in the inning as well. Maple Leafs still out hitting the Majors 14-8. The Majors have a couple errors on the board as well as that one's hit right up Main Street. And the rally continues as it gets past the glove of the shortstop, drifts into the shallow center grass, and an RBI single off the bat of Cristian Inoa keeps things going here in the bottom of the 7th. The biggest sign of life that we have seen so far today for the London Majors. Impeccable stuff, really trying to change the dynamic of this ball game in front of the hometown crowd. So a solo shot, a triple, and a single. Trying to push things back in the Majors' direction as Eduardo Diolio gets ready to come into the batter's box. Never a dull moment here at the Forks of the Thames. Majors doing their best to claw back as we push into the later innings.
Well, the offense has certainly woken up here in the bottom half of the 7th. It almost seems like I'm bad luck. So the second I walk away and I walk down that ramp down the third base line, I hear the crash of the bat and Estrado hits his home run. The second, and then once I start to keep walking, all of a sudden Lenahan has his triple.
It looks like we are seeing some discussions back and forth on field level as well. Home plate umpire Jason Van Horn is talking with Roop Chanderdat. They're having to hold it. Appears to be Skylar Janice back right now. So after the Majors start getting a bit of a rally going, some tensions beginning to flare once again. Skylar Janice raising his voice, having to be held at the edge of the Majors dugout.
So from what I'm hearing, it seems like Skylar Janice has just been thrown out of this ball game. Unsure of what is going on, but Skylar is furious right now.
An impeccably passionate player, to say the least, Skylar Janice. But I have not seen him this worked up in quite some time.
He's really giving his opinion to third base umpire Bob Blake. Skylar was over in the London bullpen when all of it happened, and I wasn't able to see what happened, however, still furious. Roop Chanderdat over there now to talk to Bob Blake. A couple more Majors are out of the dugout and kind of sharing some words with some of the Maple Leafs in the infield. Xavier Whittle out there as well.
So from what it sounds like at the end of that play, the Toronto Maple Leafs threw the ball directly into the Majors dugout, which is something that they took a bit of offense with. And Skylar Janice then threw it back onto the field, and that is then when the tension started to rise.
Yasiel Puig is currently also in the infield. He's having a little conversation with Michael Escato. Michael Escato doesn't look too happy either.
So tensions continuing to flare between these two teams as the Majors were trying to claw their way back, still down 9-5. Still some discussions across the board. Again, if you're just joining us, it sounds like the disagreement started when the Maple Leafs threw the ball right into the Majors dugout, and then the Majors threw it right back out again. Not too happy with what had happened, and then that's when things unraveled from there. But it looks like we're about to get back into some action once again. Eduardo Diolio now entering into the box. Cristian Inoa still over at first, and no outs in the bottom of the 7th, excuse me. Majors have already cashed in a couple runs. Solo shot for Michael Escato. First pitch to Diolio in there, called strike. Followed by a Trent Lenahan triple. Cristian Inoa then drove him in off a RBI single.
We saw these tensions back in the 2nd. Right back here in the 7th. Little action in the Toronto bullpen as well as Luis Florentino, the 6'3" right-hander, starting to warm up.
Diolio taking some mean hacks here. Now in an 0-2 count. Fouls that one back to stay alive. Two incredibly passionate teams going at it here. Some fun baseball and exciting, to say the least, for everyone in attendance here at the ballpark, and I can only assume at home watching the broadcast as well. The 0-2 pitch, swung on and missed, strike 3 called. First out of the inning.
So a big out there for Dave Paula. You can almost hear him from up here in the booth. He was very excited about that strikeout of Diolio. Now 1 away after this hot start to the inning.
Another big bat in the likes of Tucker Zadunik in the box. First pitch to him, swung on and missed, strike 1. Again, Zadunik can hit it pretty well across the board, to right or left, so the defense actually played fairly straight up, but some big gaps between those corner outfielders and the center fielder. Next pitch, swung on, popped up, but looks like it is going to get grabbed, caught in the air. They make the throw back to first for the double play. Great athleticism on the play there to induce the double play. And after an exciting start to the bottom of the 7th, the Majors then go in order. With that, the Maple Leafs now leading 9-5. And as we get ready to shift into the top of the 8th, we will take a quick commercial break. Again, thank you so much for joining us. You're watching the Toronto Maple Leafs taking on the London Majors right here on Majors TV.
stand out this season with the Jersey Acrylic Trophy, starting at just $15.95. Fully customizable with your team's logo, colors, and player details, and double-sided for twice the impact. A custom plate can be attached to the base for personalized engraving on each trophy. Great for player recognition. Ideal for keeper awards, participation trophies, or end-of-season celebrations. Order yours today at Nuthers.com or call 1-800-265-1554.
And welcome back to Labatt Memorial Park. Majors trying to claw their way back. Still down 9-5 to the Toronto Maple Leafs, who have had a great offensive showing so far. Leafs back in the box once again here entering the top of the 8th. Guaranteed to see Dennis Day Banning, Matt Brandt, and Yoki Pena. Also saw a pitching change. Alex Springer into the ball game for the Majors. Had a pretty efficient outing back when he came in on Wednesday. Some pretty great numbers across the season as a whole. So that one's popped up. A couple players moving forward. Looks like Diolio is going to be making his way back. Makes the grab in foul territory for the first out.
So a good start to the inning here for London. They need to get through this one cleanly in order to still have a shot in this. Again, before the game we were talking about it, during the game we were talking about this, the important game we want to look for that's also being played at the moment, Welland versus Hamilton. Welland has actually just taken the lead over the Cardinals here with 2 out in the top of the 9th. It was a 4-run 9th inning for the Welland Jackfish.
Looks like they appealed on the swing rule. He did not go. Looks like the catcher, Eduardo Diolio, didn't incredibly agree. Took a quick second there to throw the ball back to Springer, excuse me. But yes, if you are the Majors, you are wanting the Cardinals to win today. Even if the Majors lose, that would at least get those two teams closer together while getting, in this case, I guess it would keep Welland in roughly the same spot if the Majors lose tonight, but still plenty of action left to go as that one swung on and missed. But that's what you want. You want those teams to almost be duking it out a little bit more to stay close together, and Majors would love to try and gain some distance as the regular season starts coming to a close. And swung on and missed. Strike 3. Eduardo Diolio makes his way forward. The throw to first to cap it all off. And Springer, once again, a pretty efficient outing so far. Gets the first couple outs on only a few pitches.
Yeah, it's a great start here for Alex Springer. The first 2 outs of the inning. Again, you want to stay clean in this one. As we look back at this, we don't exactly have the play on the CBL website yet of what the play was to make the game 6-5. However, 5 unanswered runs scored here from the Welland Jackfish. It was an RBI single from Daike Abe back in the 8th. A 2 RBI single from Robert Mullen to start here in the 9th. And then a Giancarlo Morello single that scored another run. That's what tied the game. We're unsure of what happened to give the Jackfish the lead. However, we now go to the bottom of the 9th in that one. The Jackfish holding the 1-run lead.
An exciting Friday night across the Canadian Baseball League. Yoki Pena has a 0-1 count. That one downstairs. An exciting one. Some tension back and forth. Some home runs. A good little show of small ball from the Maple Leafs as well. Making it a pretty fun battle back and forth, regardless of the score. Next pitch swung on, grounded down the first base side, foul.
The crazy part is this Hamilton-Welland game started half an hour later than us, and they're already in the bottom of the 9th. But this game is really carried on because of how much excitement there's been.
1-2 pitch swung on, hit well deep towards right field, drifting over, just bounces at the corner of the wall. Zadunik makes the throw in. Gets there, but a little bit high. So it'll be a sliding double off the bat of Yoki Pena.
A good piece of hitting by Pena to keep the inning alive. How about that throw from Zadunik? Almost caught him over there at second base.
A great shot and continuing the streak of Maple Leafs batters getting on base. They've now been on in every single inning of this game so far. Great offensive showing top to bottom. Some nice singles. Obviously, the big loud Yasiel Puig homer comes to mind as well. The 3-run shot. As that one's hit well, finds the gap over in right center. Zadunik having to hustle over for it. That'll cash in one. An RBI single off the bat of Drew Howard. And just like that, the Toronto Maple Leafs continue their push, widening the lead. Now up 10-5 over the hometown team.
Yeah, after what we thought was London gaining a little bit of momentum after that bottom of the 8th, it's quickly turned away. This crowd has gone very silent after Springer had the first 2 outs of this inning in order. And it's the Pena double and the Howard RBI single.
A good slot change going from a couple righties back-to-back to the hard-throwing lefty in Springer, but he really thrives off pounding the strike zone and just making these batters a bit too late with his fastball. But obviously you float around the strike zone a little bit too often. You can get bit here and there, and that's resulted in the 1 run here in the top of the 8th. Still 1 runner on.
A little bit more action here in the London bullpen. That is actually Zachary Laird warming up. We haven't seen Laird for about 3 weeks now.
2-0 pitch. Swung on, popped up. Making its way to shallow center field. A few majors running over for it, but it'll be the center fielder Bernie hustling in to get the 3rd out. So another dicey inning. Another run comes in, and the Maple Leafs now up 10-5, out hitting the majors 16-9 in the process. The majors starting to run out of opportunities here.
Yeah, it's really been difficult for London to just gain any momentum. Anytime they're able to score a run, Toronto's been able to answer every time, and it's just been such a difficult night for this majors team, and the Maple Leafs have just done such a good job at keeping them quiet in this one.
Majors still having a good chunk of fun in front of the hometown crowd. You can see Jared Burney there entertaining some young fans at the Diamond. So still a whole lot of fun to be had here at the Forks of the Thames. Again, if you're just joining us, Justin Koehler on the call with you, Owen Taylor beside me, and Evan Fredrickson down on field level. Been a really fun matchup, an exciting one between these two teams. And really a pretty standout performance across the board for the Toronto Maple Leafs. We were talking about the pitching performance, the great stuff that we saw from Nick Veselinovic. The pretty consistent offense that we've seen as well. Pretty much from top to bottom. They've scored in the 2nd. They've scored in the 5th, the 6th. And then it's really just carried on from there. That big, loud 7th inning where they cashed in 4 runs. The majors kind of been on the back foot since the 2nd inning. But still, a bit of baseball to be played. Starling Joseph kicking off the inning.
So we'll go Joseph, Bernie, and Lewis here for the bottom of the 8th. The majors need to do almost the same as what they did in the bottom of the 7th. Just keep this crowd as loud as you can. Try and keep all the momentum.
So Starling Joseph, first pitch to him, called strike. Joseph 1 for 2. Had a big loud home run back in the 2nd, a solo shot. Then a ground out victim in the 4th and walked his way on base in the 6th. Hoping to continue the push. The Majors would love to kick off this inning the same way they got the last inning going. That Escato solo shot and a Lenahan triple. The 0-2 pitch. Upstairs, ball 1.
So it's really important here for London to get the leadoff man on. Obviously, down in the count at 1-2. But with Joseph up, anything can really happen. He's 1 for 2 with a walk.
So that one gets past the catcher, Brandt. But no one on base, so no real damage done.
One more update for you between the Jackfish and Hamilton and the Cardinals. The Hamilton Cardinals have just walked it off against the Welland Jackfish to take that one. They are now tied in the CBL standings for 2nd place.
So if you're a Majors fan, that's a big win right now on some pretty exciting action tonight. That is exactly what you wanted to have happen in that contest. The 3-2 pitch swung on and missed. So Joseph down on strikes to kick off the bottom of the 8th. But the worst case scenario would have been the Majors losing and the Jackfish winning, because that would have put the gap closer together as the Majors are hoping to keep a hold of first place in the CBL standings with really not a whole lot of the regular season left to go. So that's half the battle that was being fought for this Friday night when it comes to the Majors and the playoff push. As Jared Burney getting a crack at it here. First pitch to him, just off the plate, ball 1. 1-0 pitch to him, swung on and missed. A big hack at that one.
Yeah, and that is a big one if you're a Majors fan. It was the Brendan Nickel 1-out walk. And then Carlos Dominguez with a big walk-off 2-run homer.
So that one's grounded to the second baseman. A routine throw, but a quick throw towards first. Pulls him off the bag, though, so Jarrett Burney will be safe at first. A good hustle out of the box. Some good heads up there to keep himself alive down the line.
Yeah, how about the hustle there from Jarrett Burney, able to beat that one out. As now with one away, even more speed coming up to the plate.
Jordan Lewis now in the box, 0 for 3 on the day so far. A couple pop-ups and a flyout. First pitch to him in there for a called strike. We'll see how the Majors handle this. They've been pretty aggressive on the base paths all season long, and being down 10-5, I wouldn't be too surprised if they try and get Burney over to second however they can. Next pitch inside, ball 1. Majors have made the most off trying to steal, trying to hit and run scenarios to advance these runners all season long. So we'll see how it unfolds here with 1-1 pitch. Swung on, fouled back.
Yeah, it is a moment where you want to be aggressive. However, you don't want to be too aggressive in this spot. Again, you do have one away in the inning. A mistake can quickly turn this inning around. Again, you want to try and do anything to bring runners on base.
1-2 pitch just a bit down out of the zone for ball 2.
So a big moment here is the Majors really need a battle here from Jordan Lewis.
So one out here, runner on first. The 2-2 pitch. Swung on, hit well and hit deep over towards left center field. It's going back. It touches down, bounces off the wall. Jarrett Burney heading over towards third. He'll get the stop sign there. But a big loud double off the bat of Jordan Lewis puts a couple runners in scoring position.
A big hit there from Jordan Lewis to bring two in scoring position. That's his first double for the Majors on the year. He already has 2 triples, but his first double here for the Majors, and it is a big one here in the bottom of the 8th.
The Majors still hoping to claw their way back. Still a bit of baseball left to play. David Dreyer's now in the box. He's come in clutch a few times this year so far. First pitch, a big hack at that one for strike one. Again, if you're just joining us, the Maple Leafs currently ahead 10-5 in this one. Really capitalizing on the small ball and a big loud home run off the bat of Yasiel Puig. Out hitting the Majors 16-10. 0-1 pitch. Swung on, foul tip for strike two.
Dreyer so far 0 for 2 today. He was hit by a pitch in the third, came around to score. Since then, a strikeout and a pop out for him.
0-2 pitch. Swung on, fouled off to stay alive. Good piece of hitting there with one out. So big opportunity here for the Majors. Likely runs that you have to cash in as that one's popped up, but goes back foul.
That was big there for Dreyers to get a piece of that one, able to stay in the count now. Still 0-2, however, again, just like the Lewis at bat, you really need a big battle here against DePaula.
That one's up and away for ball one. I do think if you are the Majors, you need to cash these runs in. I think if you strand these runners, not only are you obviously losing out on the runs, but I think it is a bit of a momentum killer at this point, this late in the game. Because that one's fouled back, but caught for strike three.
Yeah, and the Majors have been productive with runners in scoring base, or in scoring position here in this one. That made some 4 for 9 with the Dreyers strikeout.
It looks like we are going to have a meeting on the mound. Potential pitching change on the way. I believe Luis Florentino was warming up over in the Maple Leafs bullpen. And it looks like we are going to have a pitching change here late in the game. So still 2 runners in scoring position, but now 2 out here in the bottom of the 8th. And with that, we will take a quick commercial break. We'll be back in just a few moments. Again, you're watching the Toronto Maple Leafs in town taking on the London Majors right here on Majors TV.
Smoke alarms expire after 10 years. Check the date and test your smoke alarm today.
A working smoke alarm is a gift the whole family can enjoy.
Follow us online at LDN ONT Fire.
Everyone dreams of being great. Only a select few can be iconic. But only one is chosen. Introducing the Chosen One from Rawlings. The all-new one-piece composite iteration of the top-rated and established Icon BB Core bat.
Cheer in this one. Reynaldo DePaula out of the ball game. Luis Florentino now on the mound for the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, Florentino has 12 games this season, totaling 18 innings. He has a 4.0 ERA, as he has really been strong for this Majors lineup in the stretch from June the 28th all the way to July the 23rd. He did not give up a single run in that span. Since then, he's given up a run in 2 of his last 3 appearances. Gave up 2 back on the 24th against Welland. Gave up 1 a week ago in Brantford. So he'll come into this one in a big spot.
He'll face a tough part of the lineup as well as things turn back over. Michael Escato in the box. A big loud solo shot in his last at-bat. 1-0 pitch. Catches the bottom part of the plate for strike one.
Yeah, it was Escato's 13th home run on the year, and it was a big one for this Majors lineup to try and keep everybody in this ball game.
1-1 pitch, down and away for ball 2. Good job by Brandt to keep that one in front of him.
It almost looks like they're pitching around Estrada right now. Every pitch so far has been down and away. We'll have to see what the 2-1 will be.
Next pitch swung on, hit hard, a liner over towards the left field grass. It's going to cash in both runs as both Bernie and Lewis come in to score. So a 2 RBI single off the bat of Michael Escato. Once again, hoping to give the Majors a little bit of life late in the game.
A big moment there for Michael Escato. That is his 3rd hit of the ball game. Make him 3 for 5 in this one. And almost the perfect situation for that to come in with Luis Florentino just coming into this ball game and just throwing 4 pitches. And now London is really back in this one. Only down by 3 at the moment with 5 outs to go.
So still some life left in this ball game, continuing to be an exciting one between these two teams. Trent Lenahan in the box. First pitch upstairs, ball 1. Can never let your guard down with some of these teams across the CBL. Majors definitely one of them.
Lenahan 2 for 4 as well coming into this at bat. The same as Michael Escato.
Next pitch, big swing and miss at that one. So 1-1 count. 2 out here in the bottom of the 8th. Florentino set. Next pitch. Swung on. Bouncing grounder. They'll make the quick throw over towards second. And just like that, they get the 3rd out. But not before the Majors cash in a couple more runs. Big 2 RBI single off the bat of Michael Escato. And just like that, it's a 10-7 ball game. And as we get ready to shift into the top of the 9th, this game really going into its adolescence. We will take a quick commercial break. Again, you're watching the Toronto Maple Leafs battling the London Majors right here on Majors TV.
Make a bold statement with the Champ Chain, the ultimate award for champions. At 5 to 6 inches wide, this eye-catching metal is built to impress, fully customized with your logo and cut to shape. From the court to the boardroom, this award brings energy and attitude to every celebration. Great for recognizing your MVPs, players of the game, or hardest worker. Level up your recognition game with the Champ Chain. Order yours today at nuthers.com or call 1-800-265-1554.
And welcome back to Labatt Memorial Park. This game continues to be exciting. And as we push into the top of the 9th, we are getting a pitching change from the London Majors. Zach Laird coming into the ballgame.
Yeah, Laird's last appearance coming over a month ago. It was July 10th, here in London. I almost said the year for some reason. We're still in the year. I don't know why I did that.
Has it been years since he's pitched?
Maybe. I'm not sure. He's been really strong here for the Majors this season, even with a 5.19 ERA. That's only through 17 and a third innings in his last couple of appearances. He has only given up a 1 run in his last 4 appearances. As he comes into this one. Now, we've checked in on the Hamilton-Welland game. That one is concluded now with a 7-6 win over the Cardinals. Over in at Ferdy Jenkins Field, it's currently 14-4 in favor of the Guelph Royals. They're still only in the top of the 7th inning.
So still a whole lot of action here for some Friday night ball across the CBL. Zach Laird, an incredibly passionate pitcher coming into the ball game. Get ready to see a whole lot of high-velocity heaters and what has a self-described slingshot release. Very, very efficient in his delivery.
I love it when you say when you call it his slingshot.
His slingshot?
I've heard you say that so often, and each time it seems to get better.
I love it. I remember talking with him before the season got going, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. First pitch outside, ball 1. But yeah, incredibly passionate guy, and you'll see it, especially when things are, funny enough, when things are going his way, you can really see the passion come out. Sometimes very vocal, sometimes very physical out there. As that one catches the plate for ball 1, for strike 1, excuse me, evening things at 1-1.
Yeah, it's good to see him and his emotion back out there on the pitch, on the mound. It's just been almost odd to not see him playing in these games.
So that one catches the inner part of the plate, making it a 1-2 count.
He's starting to work early here. Already up 2 strikes.
But you had a great point there. He's been almost Mr. Consistent out of the bullpen, coming in some pretty clutch situations. Tries to go with a breaking pitch downstairs. Just a bit outside, making it 2-2. At times, almost been acting in kind of a setup role, I guess I would say, right behind Skylar Janice, but has been incredibly effective in his appearances here in 2026. 2-2 pitch, swung on, fouled back. But back to a pretty dangerous part of this Maple Leafs lineup as we turn things back over. Marcus Connect, followed by Yasiel Puig and J.J. Dutton. Puig in particular had that 3-run bomb back in the 7th in his last AB. So that one's in there, called strike. Great way to get the inning going, to push into the top of the 9th for Zach Laird, and exactly what we're used to seeing from the hard-throwing lefty.
Yeah, perfect start here for him. Again, he's been off for a month, and from that at bat, it almost didn't look like it, with just how poised he is over there on the pitcher's mound, and a good start to this one.
So 1 out now, top of the 9th. That'll bring up the big bat of Yasiel Puig, who's 2 for 4 today. A single in the first, walked his way on base in the second. A big hack there for strike 1.
This is power versus power right here. It's the big power hitting right-hander of Yasiel Puig versus the powerful fastball of Zach Laird. It's 2 very passionate guys here in this matchup.
A 1 pitch swung on, hit well, drifting towards right center field. The center fielder able to get over there. Bernie makes a great grab for the 2nd out. And a big out trying to keep the score exactly where it is. Majors getting at least one more opportunity when they come back in the bottom of the 9th. But a great effort by Zach Laird to keep things at a standstill, 10-7.
Yeah, this is the start you want to see from Zach Laird to begin this inning. Back-to-back outs against 2 of Toronto's most dangerous hitters, as you want to try and get out of this one cleanly.
First pitch to J.J. Dutton, swung on and missed. A big swing there for strike 1. Defense playing fairly straight up. Dutton 2 for 5. First pitch down and in. Catches the plate for strike 2.
Again, just continuing to roll here as Zach Laird is quickly 2 strikes now on J.J. Dutton.
The 0-2 pitch, swung on, fouled back. Good hack at it to stay alive.
We will see Luis Florentino when we come to the bottom of the 9th. Absolutely nobody in the Toronto bullpen at the moment. It'll be his game to finish out.
The count remains 0-2 with 2 outs here, top of the 9th. The 0-2 swung on and missed. Strike 3 called. So 3 up, 3 down, and 2 via the strikeout for Zach Laird.
Yeah, that is a big inning for Zach Laird, able to get through it 1, 2, 3. It's almost a welcome back for him after missing last month. Now you have the big opportunity here for London. Cristian Inoa, Eduardo Diolio, and Tucker Zadunik all due up in this inning. They will be the three that you will be guaranteed to see against Luis Florentino. And down by 3, those are some of the best hitters you want to see in this kind of situation.
Majors need at least 3 runs to try and stay alive. Force extras or just walk it off if they can. The hometown crowd really get into it here at Labatt Memorial Park. Obviously a lot riding on these games as we push on. Just a few games left in the regular season. In any case, though, what a fun game that we've been treated to. Some exciting ball, some tension, some homers, some stolen bases, some small ball, some long ball. A really, really good contest between these two teams.
Yeah, we've really seen it all in this one tonight. And you take a look at the scoreboard, and there's not a lot of zeros, I can tell you that. It has just been one of those games where it's just two high-flying offenses going at it against each other, and we will see even more opportunity here as the Majors will try and at least tie this ball game.
This is a great game to really display that sometimes the standings don't paint the full picture. A lot of these teams, wherever they are, top to bottom, have some great offensive flashes, some great pitching performances, some great defense, and the Maple Leafs have really done a great job of flexing that tonight. Obviously, we love talking about the offense. Pitching has done fairly well today as well. First pitch to Cristian Inoa downstairs for ball 1.
Yeah, we almost saw the same thing on Wednesday against Chatham. They were starting to really crawl back into that one, but again, it's your position in the standings does not matter when it comes deep into games. All that matters is how you're able to respond to what the other team's able to do. Toronto's been able to do that quite well. It's London's turn now.
It makes it such a fun league here in 2026 as the 2-0 pitch catches the plate for strike 1. Inoa 2 for 4 today so far. A couple of singles and a couple flyouts to match as well. Would love to get the momentum going for the Majors. The 2-1 pitch down and away for ball 3. Florentino done well on the season. Prone to giving up a few walks here and there. 6.5 walks per 9 compared to 7 Ks per 9 as that one's popped up. Well hit, but well high. As that one's caught right in the infield for the first out. So just 2 outs remaining as the Majors try and catch back up to keep this game going.
After an at-bat that was in Inoa's favor with the 3-1 count. A good pitch by Florentino to get him to really get under that baseball. Never left the infield. A good start for the Leafs as there was one away.
So that'll bring up the bat of Eduardo Diolio. 1 for 4 so far today as that one gets past the catcher Brandt, but no one on base, so no damage done. Diolio struck out twice, lined out to third, and a big loud double back in the 6th. The hot shot came around to score in that inning as well. The 1-0 pitch to him, swung on, fouled back. A great turnout here at Labatt Memorial Park as well for some Friday night action. A pretty lovely evening in London, Ontario as well. Count 1-1, 1 out. Maple Leafs still leading 10-7. Next pitch swung on, fouled back. Diolio just a little bit behind on the swing.
So big moment here for Diolio again. as we said in the Lewis and Dreyer's at-bats, this is a time where you really need a huge battle here.
1-2. They rule he went around. Home plate umpire Justin Van Horn doesn't elect to check with any of the umpires, just ruled that he went around on his own. And just like that, 2 outs now in the bottom of the 9th. Majors down to their final out as they're still looking to recover 3 runs, down 10-7. Currently out hit by the Maple Leafs 16-11.
Yeah, right now in a very difficult spot to try and come back in this one. You need 3 runs. You're down to your final out.
First pitch, broken bat, little blooper over towards the second baseman, a routine throw over towards first, and that'll be it here at Labatt Memorial Park. The Toronto Maple Leafs able to pull in front early and cash in run after run, hit after hit, leading them to a 10-7 victory in enemy territory in London, Ontario.
Yeah, it's a great win for the Toronto Maple Leafs. They kind of had the advantage the entire way through this one, and you looked at it from the very beginning. They had the 3-run lead, never gave up that lead at all, as they just continue to answer on the Majors' pressure that they were giving them, and able to stay poised and controlled in this one. They'll now only be a game and a half ahead of both Hamilton and Welland as we go into the rest of the weekend. 2 more games for you this weekend. And then we get into the final 6 of the regular season as we slowly inch towards some September baseball.
Just a couple weeks left in the regular season. Still a whole lot of fun to be had. Majors have a busy weekend ahead of them as well. They're heading to Barrie tomorrow to battle the Bay Cats at Athletic Cultures Stadium before staying on the road, heading over to Hamilton Sunday for what should be a pretty big contest between the Majors and the Cardinals at Bernie Arbor Memorial Stadium. So a big, fun weekend ahead. Be sure to tune in again with us next Friday. We'll have another home matchup here. The London Majors welcoming the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers to town. Should be a pretty fun matchup. Be sure to tune in wherever you'd catch us from, whether that be CBL TV or Majors TV. And in any case, thank you for joining us tonight. Whole lot of fun here at the ballpark. Justin Koehler joined by Owen Taylor. Evan Fredrickson, our third man down on field level. A pretty fun one. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you again at the next home game. You're watching Majors TV.
For a chance.